All right, how y'all doing? We should be all right now. I don't know why this is saying this. I didn't say this earlier. Boy, I promise you, this stuff just be doing its own little thing. This is Miss Kevin Jerome. This is Stacy. Hi, excuse me, Tracy. I said Stacy. Lord Jesus.
It's
Hi,
okay.
Tracy.
It's okay.
It's
There's tons of people that call me Stacy.
really
Yes, my uncle Daryl Richmond, who played bass for the Angelic Gospel Singers, his mother called me Stacy from the time I was born until she died.
which basically means I don't care what your mom and daddy named
Right? She
you.
don't even care. She was like,
I'm
"To me, you what I named you." So here we
Yeah,
are.
I'm gonna call you what I want. Yeah,
Yeah.
I totally get it. Cool. Well, today we are on here tonight to have some fun. We got some really good topics.
Yes, we do.
And yeah, I had to put this stuff up because I really wanted everybody to see what was going on. And I'm trying to navigate it now so I can. Um, I don't know where this state of presidency. I never said that. I don't know where this is coming from, but let me go ahead and fix it. But yeah, we got some pretty neat stuff to talk about.
Yes, we do.
Uh, and hopefully everybody comes on. And that'll be that. I think we're gonna, and it's still doing what it wants to do. All right, I didn't say that, but okay, it's cool. Yeah. So this has been a very interesting turn of events. There's been a lot going on in the world. There's been a lot going on in
Mhm.
these churches. There's been a lot going on in marriages and things of that nature. There's been all kind of stuff going on. So tonight, I think I'm just going to really sit back and enjoy myself and hear what everybody else has to say, because this has been one interesting 7 days. I've just been blown away at what I've been seeing.
Yeah.
Um, and I think one of the biggest things about what's been happening is, people are still operating like COVID didn't happen,
That is
you
very true.
know. But the truth is, it did happen. And not only that, I just told this a couple of hours ago. I said, it's amazing how people have been dying left and right. But if you notice, it's all been like coming up to COVID. Then when everybody got jabbed with these needles, and
Mm.
now it's just like people are just dying left and right. And
Yeah,
then
heart attacks and strokes.
heart
Everybody
attack,
heart
yeah,
attack and stroke. Like, come on.
everybody. And
Yeah.
these are people that don't have pre-existing conditions. Like nobody
Yeah.
had a heart issue,
Right.
and now all of a sudden the autopsy states and clarifies that they had a heart attack. I never knew this
Yeah.
person even had heart issues,
Right.
and quiet as it's kept, they didn't know either.
Right.
So it's been this ongoing onslaught of different things, and I think one of the biggest things about this is we have to pay attention and realistically look at the fact that things are not the same.
Mm-mm.
um, I've been watching people literally driving on the street. I've been watching people, and I could not believe some of the things that people are doing on the street. What's up, cuz? It's been crazy. It's been crazy. I just can't believe what's going on. Um, and the truth is, if we would really tell the truth, it's very disturbing what's going on in these streets these days. It's
It is.
very disturbing. Very
I,
disturbing.
I think that uh, racism is about to, well, I wouldn't say skyrocket because it's already bad. I mean, but I think they're going to just ramp it up because they feel now that they can, and they don't feel like anybody's going to stop them from doing what they want to do. So I think the things that we see in the streets are really going to get really outrageous.
Yeah. And what's
What you
crazy
talking about
is
the election and the after effect of the election?
We're talking mainly, and I'm sorry, I meant to bring it in earlier. We are just talking about how people are still operating as if COVID didn't happen, but the words that I used was ever since everybody got jabbed with that needle, things have just been crazy. I mean, just the deaths, and we had a lot of death. If you all remember, we had a lot of death that happened back in 2015. That's when that onslaught of all these musicians was dying, all these producers, and you
Mm-hmm.
know, a lot of prominent fixtures in music were dying left and right. And then it all led up to COVID, and then everybody got jabbed with this needle, and it just the onslaught of deaths. The different vaccines they were using. Johnson and Johnson should just shut down altogether because they were the main ones killing people.
Yeah.
From baby
And
powder,
then
of all things.
yeah, and they were killing folk, and then you had the Moderna versus the what was the other one? Moderna, and then the other one was there was Johnson, Moderna, Pfizer. Pfizer was the other one.
I'm a Pfizer kid.
Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, I'm not, the Moderna and all this other stuff. This is so crazy, like we've been talking about for the last I don't know how many weeks. Hollywood has been showing us this. They were showing us this back when the Running Man was out, and
Yeah.
all those when they were saying, you got to get injected with this or that. They were showing us, but now, ain't no directors, ain't no producers, ain't no actors. This is real life. You know what I'm saying?
There was a
What I say about that, and I say this respectfully, everybody has the right to, make their own choices about stuff like that. If COVID had been something that was only happening in the United States, then I might be a little bit more suspect. But it was happening all around the world.
It was yeah.
So I mean, we understand that our government is what it is, and I'm not here to try to, defend any positions about that. But COVID was bigger than the United States, and I think that where a lot of people made an error in terms of the decision to or not to take the
vaccine, right?
Vaccine. I think because everybody was so thinking about, okay, my government. It was happening in Japan. It was happening in Korea. It was happening in China. It was happening in, you name it. It was all over the place. So it can't be just a thing about the United States. I think that there's part of our psyche that thinks that everything that happens is based on what's happening right outside my door, as opposed to thinking about what's in the whole yard.
Yeah. Tracy, go ahead. You were getting ready to say something.
Oh, I was. I don't know what it was.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know what it was.
Well, while you think about it, the reality of it is that Terrence, you made mention of it was happening around the world. The reality of it is that, but there were certain places it didn't happen.
It happened everywhere. The difference wasn't that it didn't happen. The difference was how it was managed and handled.
Okay.
Now that's where our government comes in. And now we can point fingers, because at the time, our unfortunately future president now
was president,
and he chose to take that very localized. Well, it's not touching me, so if it's not touching me, then it must not be touching anybody. And that was the attitude. And so then the effect and the impact in the United States became what it was because of the inaction,
right,
and the indecision on the fact of our government. Now we can talk about that, but in terms of the actual, it happened everywhere. Again, the difference was how it was handled and how it was managed. Other governments took it seriously enough to put the right steps in place. Had the things that Biden allowed to come in place in 21, had half of that stuff been done in 20, more than half the people that died would never have died.
Wow.
And that's the reality. Now, again, that's a different conversation than just saying that, it happened everywhere, but the impact on us was because of the inaction and the mindset of those that were in charge during that time, which I think was one of the reasons why that person ended up not being reelected at that time. Why they reelected now, again, that's another conversation for anyway, you get it.
Right.
Yeah.
You get it.
I remember what I'm going to say now. There was a movie, and I don't know the name of the movie, but a gentleman had something, and it was if you got in the room with him and it was airborne, it would start to affect you immediately, just like COVID.
Was
But
that was that the one with Dustin Hoffman in it?
I see. I don't know actors' names. I'm bad about that. But it was something to behold, and I was like, this is exactly what COVID is.
Mm-hmm.
But it was. I don't know the name of the movie though.
It was well, I wasn't gonna say that in the movie. I think there was a couple of movies that were like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a few. The one I'm
if
thinking
you
about
look,
it was something with the monkey had gotten sick or something like that. The one
was it Outbreak? That was Outbreak, right? Wasn't that Outbreak?
That's the name of it. That's the
Okay.
name.
Yeah, that was Outbreak. There was another movie that Brad Pitt was in. I went to see World War Z. And,
I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
it was a lot of people that basically they were like tickers and tweakers and stuff, and people who basically have been infected with this virus that was just unprecedented. And you know, it was in order he had to get from one city to another. If you remember, it was a movie that Jean-Claude Van Damme was in called Cyborg, and he was traveling to Atlanta because they had a vaccine. That the world had literally just went under this new world order thing, and people got sick, and then Claude Van Damme and these other people were literally trying to be the next ones that actually had the vaccine to go and bring it back to the researchers. And these other people tried to kill him and the girl that he was with because they didn't want, you know, people being sick was power to them. So they wanted to keep the vaccine for themselves and use it, and basically have a monopoly on the government and say, you know, if you want this, you're gonna have to give us this, and you know, and that's why I learned the terminology when the man said people will pay the most for what they cannot have.
Okay.
You know, that's why I learned that.
Young man, I see you sipping on a red cup. What's in that red cup, sir?
It's ginger beer.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ginger beer is really good.
I just want to see how honest you were going to be. You know, when I see people sipping in a red cup, it always brings
yeah, well, here's what I'm
that red cup, man.
Here's what I'm gonna say: the redder, the better.
We find out another letter,
yeah,
about Tracy.
When we'll know when you get up and start. I'm sorry, my thing we'll know when you get up and start dancing with no music. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's when I know she drunk.
Okay, she'll get up and say, I'm gonna start playing that piano right there.
Right.
And I ain't mad at you. I'm gonna let you. You go right ahead, dog.
You do know it's not there, right? You do know that.
What? That the piano's not really there?
Yeah, the piano. She gonna find out.
Let me live in my delusion. Let me live in my delusion. In my mind,
no. That was for her.
Yeah, that's for me.
She gonna be drunk and get up and tell me, go play this piano, Tracy.
Tracy.
Like it's not even there.
A little bit.
It's not there.
Tracy, girl,
now, where I will hang up on you is if you start. Where I will hang up on you is if you start playing it and I hear it. Then I'm out of here. You ain't gotta worry about
that's how drunk you are.
That's it, right?
You are.
I gotta go.
Yeah, that would be great.
Y'all hear that? Yep. All right. Good night.
Avery gonna do her like in 5 heartbeats. My music man, and shove her off.
It's as what I was saying was it's just I was waiting for Tanya to get on here, but I'm not gonna wait. She'll tell us about it later on her version. But you talked about the racism, you know, on Vegas Boulevard Sunday evening. So I want to paint this picture, and then y'all tell me. So I left this one area, and we decided that we were going to a place called the Blue Martini last Sunday.
Is that like the little video if y'all were walking along or something?
It was after that. So the spot that we were at, we were going to that. But on our way there, I got into the left lane on Vegas Boulevard, and so driving up, we got right by the Cosmopolitan. There's a light there. So I keep hitting this. So I went over and I got in the left lane. So in that lane, when I turned onto the street, a cop was behind me, and then he stood behind me for about maybe a minute, because if you've been to Vegas, you know that these street lights are 4 minutes long. Like these are the longest lights you've ever seen in your life.
That's why I don't drive over there.
Yeah, they are bad. So he was behind me, and about 30 seconds after getting behind me, he got out of the lane and got beside me. Now there's a car in front of me. So when I say he got beside me, I mean he was in the other lane. So he was, like one car ahead of me. So when we pull off from the green light, there's a gray Kia in front of me. And I think they were more worried about the police officer than I was. So I'm driving behind him, behind the Kia. The cop slows down and gets back behind me. So now he's driving behind me. So I'm just like, all right, just act like you got some sense, just drive, don't. So the car in front of me literally was doing like 23. It wasn't even doing 25. I knew it wasn't doing 25 because I was behind it and I was doing like 22.
Yeah.
So I knew they wasn't driving fast. So I'm like, I don't want to go and pass him on the right because this fool will have a reason to pull me over.
Right.
So I'm going to just stay behind him to the next light. Got to the next light, the cop is still behind me. I'm like, okay. Well, now we're at Tropicana in Vegas. We're right there by the Excalibur right there. So, we get ready to hit it. So we went through this next light, getting to that light. So when we got to that light on Tropicana in Vegas Boulevard, the light was still green. So I'm behind this slow behind car. So they pull out in the intersection and I'm going with them when they got in the intersection and I got the light turned yellow.
Yellow, yep. Right?
We go through it. He turns his lights on and pulls me over.
No.
Wow, that's crazy.
And I sat there so now where he wanted me to pull over at, I would have made more traffic. So now I drive to the very beginning of the Excalibur, the driveway that you go in. And I drive right there and I stop. And I'm sitting there like, what did you pull me over for? So he comes out, he looks out and he goes, hey, how you doing? Can you roll the back windows down for me? I'm like, what? I said,
he was a white cop?
Bro, of course he was. He wasn't black. And I feel if he was black, he'd have acted even more stupid.
That is true.
So I roll the windows down. He's like, hey, how you doing tonight? So I said, I'm not good. I said, well, do you know why I pulled you over? I said, I would like you to tell me. He said, well, you ran the light. I said, sir, let's just do this right now. Let's do this right now. When I got in that intersection following the other, I said, did you see that other car in front of me? He said, what, the Kia? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I saw it. I said, so then you know that I was trying to abide by the rules, but they were driving so slow. If I had stopped in that intersection trying to catch that light, it would have hit me. And then I'd have had your badge and your house and everything else because I would have sued y'all. So why did you even, you saw me? He said, well, you had enough time. I said, sir, come on. The light turned yellow when I passed the light.
Yes,
I saw it turn yellow. So if I had enough time and it turned yellow when I was in the intersection, how did I have time to stop back there at the crosswalk? Please tell me that.
His response.
I feel you had enough time. I said, you know what? All right, what you need from me? What you need? Because now I'm just, and I kept saying, I didn't do nothing. What are you pulling me over for? I didn't do it. All I did was abide by the rules. So got the registration, got everything out. And handed him my license. At first, I couldn't find the license. I was like, I got my ID here. I said, oh, okay, here's the license. License was underneath the ID. So I said, just go ahead and take that. So he goes back. He takes the license. He goes back. He runs everything. He comes back. And he's like, well, everything is good. He said, I was just checking the license plate because, we have another person who has this name. And, there's a warrant out or whatever. I said,
who the hell else has a name Kevin Jerome Stenson?
Or even at this point, it was Tanya. It was Tanya's car. And I'm sitting there going, I said, sir, she's right here. He said, well, what's the last 4 of your social? And she gave it to him. He's like, okay, yeah, that's not true. She said, what are you talking about? He said, well, there's warrants out. We were trying to see who was in the car because.
Well, you already know that before you stop a person. The cops, before they do anything, already know.
All that information is, they already know. Yeah. They know you have a valid registration. They know you have valid insurance. They even know based on who the car is registered to if their license is got any issues.
They knew everything. He just had absolutely. So when he gave my license back, He's like, yeah, you guys are good. I'm just out here, I'm a ticket cop. I'm not taking nobody to jail. And all. I said, okay.
In
Well,
other
I
words,
appreciate
I'm bored. That's what he's
right,
saying.
right. I said, sir, let's just be clear. You pulled me over for absolutely no reason, because if you were going to pull anybody over, you should have pulled that car over that was in front of me. Because and even then, they were driving so slow. If that's what was bothering you, you could have told them that. But we're getting through a light. If the light changes when I'm in the middle of the intersection, I am not at fault for this. I'm not running a light.
No.
Now, if it was red and I ran through,
if
then
you're
we
in
got
the
it.
action of moving through the intersection and the light goes from green to yellow, that's the whole point of going from green to yellow, not straight from green straight to red.
It's straight to red, right?
Pause to say, okay, something's about to happen.
Absolutely. But
just
you pulled me over
as best as you know. The car in front of you. Is there anything you could describe about the occupants? And you know what the question I'm asking?
I couldn't see that because they were driving so slow, but I would have to suggest that they were not my color.
Gotcha.
I would have to suggest that.
That's who you would have went after, not you.
Yeah. This was the thing. I told him right to his face. I said, sir, if you were going to go to anybody, if you're going to pull anybody over, you should have did it to the car that was in front of me, because they're the ones that made me miss the light if you felt I ran it.
Exactly.
But for me to be in an intersection and the light is turning yellow and I'm already in the intersection, then guess what? The bottom line is I should turn around and give you a ticket because you ran the light.
That's right.
Citizens arrest.
That's right. Citizens arrest. I was about to say that.
He said, you know what? He said, listen, I'm nice to people who are nice to me. I said, okay, man, can I have, I'll take my license back. I'll say, okay. All right. Are we good? Yeah, you guys are good. You can go. We just wanted to make sure we did have the warrant, but it's not your name. Why do you keep talking about a warrant if you notice it's not the person that you're looking for? Why do you keep doing that?
Because truthfully, if he was honest, that's the reason why he stopped you. Because as you said, the vehicle was registered in her name, and that's the name that he thought perhaps could have been associated to whomever or whatever the case may be. So he could be honest in what their initial stop was all about.
No,
that cops are dumb.
And I kept saying, I kept saying that the problem that I have with all of this is that you were sitting there, you ran the information, so you knew everything you needed to know. The only thing that you felt you had just cause for doing was stopping me at a yellow light. The light,
stupid.
He had to come
of course he did, because the light didn't turn until I got into the middle of the intersection. It didn't turn.
Because here's the truth about all of that, with everything you just said. Here's the truth about it. Even with him running everything, and even with the name being suspect, that alone, unless he caught you in the act of doing something illegal,
that's right.
None of that he could have used none of that, and he knew that. So that's why he had to, as quick as his little brain would allow him, try to come up with some other cause for the stop, and then he could say, "Oh, also yada 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 about the alleged." I don't say alleged, but about the warrant, about the familiarity of the names or whatever the case may be. But he knew a good cop ought to know that. I'm not a cop at all, and I know that. So if I know, why don't you?
Well, that was the reason why I said, at this particular point, it's not even so much about what he thought and what he ran and all this other stuff. I believe it was the color of the skin.
Mm-hmm.
And there was absolutely no reason for us to go through what we went through. And he was nice about it. He's, like I said, he was like, I'm nice to people who are to me. But the deal is, you would have never knew nothing about me had you not illegal, because I didn't do anything illegal. You illegally pulled me over. You had no legal just cause for doing that at all. None.
Good evening, everybody. I'm asking
That's
a question. Was this something that just happened?
Yes.
Sunday night.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, he was just bored, man. And honestly, cops here in North Carolina is worse, because I've never seen so many cops that actually have other police cars following minorities in this area. Down here, if one person gets arrested, if they're minority, they always have 2 or 3 cars that's following. You always see that.
Well, that's what I thought. See, this is when I knew something wasn't right either. And hi, Tanya, you're on here now. You okay?
Hey, Miss Tanya.
So
Okay.
Hey, Sister Tonya.
Hi.
So when he pulled us over, he never called another unit.
Wow.
He didn't call nobody. Matter of fact, I saw it wrong, and it was crazy. And I don't even think Tanya even noticed it. But he wasn't even driving. It was another cop in the car.
Oh, I didn't
Wow.
know that.
It was two cops. So when he got out, he got on the passenger side. He didn't get out on the driver's side. That let me know he wasn't the one driving.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me you really didn't have nothing to do.
Not at all.
And
I
you
told
might
you he
have
was
been
just
a
bored.
brand new cop. You might have been a new cop, to be honest with you, now that I think about it.
Yeah, because you're doing a ride along.
Yeah, you're not even a real cop. Because when he came over, he's like, yeah, you guys are good. I told you when he gave me my license stuff back, he's like, yeah, just go ahead and, you guys are good. You guys are straight or whatever. And I'm because if anything would have been wrong with my life, he wouldn't have let us go.
Not
No.
at all.
Now he'd have literally been like,
He might
yeah,
not
we
have
got
let
a
you
problem.
live. Forget letting you go.
Yeah, it was like, he wouldn't even done that. So when he gave me my stuff back, I looked at him and I'm like, you keep saying that you pulled me over because you didn't feel I had enough time. And Tanya's right here. She could tell you. When we got into the intersection, that's when the light turned yellow. It didn't turn red. I wasn't trying to run a light. I
Even if it
was
did turn red,
in the
the
right.
yellow light means
Yeah.
proceed with caution. It does not mean stop.
That is right.
Stop.
Or
Exactly.
be prepared to stop, depending on, your position.
And he was 3 inches behind me. So had I tried to stop, he would have
He
been
would
in the
have
front
hit
of my
us.
car.
And then he would have turned around and said that you were at fault because you tried to brake check.
Exactly.
Right.
Now we going to court, and now I'm gonna sue your ass for everything you got. You gonna wish you never stopped me.
And
Your
again,
grandchildren gonna feel that lawsuit.
and
Yep.
again, whatever was going on with the name confusion or whatever the case may be was really the reason why he wanted to stop you, but he could not use that as his principal reason.
Absolutely, because it would have been profiling.
That's right.
Exactly, it would have been because then when he said her name,
He was already profiling. It would have been exposed that he was profiling. But yeah.
right? Because there was no reason to pull us over.
I am definitely going to take the time. I never really thought a whole lot about it, but the more and more that's going on, I'm going to invest in a dash cam for my vehicle.
Absolutely, I don't blame you. I'm
That's
right
not
with you.
vanity. That's nothing other than that's
I'm gonna get one for my car.
CYA.
That is true.
CYA.
Yeah, you have to now because even knowing the laws, that
Right.
ain't even cutting it these days.
Exactly. Well, y'all heard about what happened with the out in Long Island, right?
Yeah.
Where the lady stopped and backed up into the car.
Yes.
And they
And then
switched
tried to
drivers.
say, oh, they ran into me. But what happened was, if you look at that video, the guy, when he got out, the guy was like, oh, we messed up because she got a dash cam.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point, you're stuck. There's nothing you can do.
You big stupid dummy. You big
that might be
idiot.
an insult to dumb people to put them in that category. That's an insult to dumb people.
Yeah, it's like you just. Yeah,
somebody dumb is sitting over there sucking on a toothpick saying, "I'm dumb, but I ain't that dumb."
Do y'all remember the movie Happy Gilmore with that guy? Yeah, jackass.
Right.
That's what
Jackass.
Yeah, jackass.
He scored that point not even 500 feet from here. Jackass.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's what that is. So yeah, we've had our share, and that hadn't been done with me in a long time, but it finally happened Sunday, and I was like, okay, well, just remind me I'm black. Go ahead.
Yeah, but Kev, as you were describing it, I couldn't think about it. And those that remember one of our previous conversations from one of the other shows, oh, thank God, because there was a time. And that's all. And I won't go any further than that. There was a time.
He would have been right. he would have been right. Like, Kevin, now look, just come on.
You can't win this battle.
Yeah, come on. No, they'll just open the door. Come on, we're not even gonna put no cuffs on you. We're not gonna.
No. Listen, just open the back door of the car. I'm getting in, honey. I'll see you when I see you.
hey, let me just say, man. Back in the day, there were a lot of musicians in Jersey that was riding dirty.
For real.
No, it was a lot of riding dirty. It was called we trying to get somewhere to make some money to pay these warrants.
To pay it, yeah, but we got to ride dirty to do it.
Listen, but again,
we fixed it. We good now. I ain't scared of that. We good.
Listen,
especially when
I had to put cable in my dog's name in a long time. Oh, come on, don't act like I'm the only one. Somebody back there.
Nope.
Somebody
Yo,
got
you
to
remember when people used to do that? They put stuff in their kids' names.
Yeah.
How's a 7-year-old got a 550 credit score? You're 7
Right.
years old. You ain't even working yet.
You don't even know what work is.
When I used to
You
go
don't
by
even
people's
have
house,
credit
and
yet.
you know, some people just had their mail out. It
Yep,
wasn't
they
that you
care.
was looking;
They ain't
their
care.
mail was just out, and I'll be like, PSENG, little Shay Shay, how they got?
Right.
What you mean? Hold on, wait a minute. Little Brian got. How does he have cable?
How he have
Crazy.
credit?
How he got credit?
That part, how you got credit?
Why is he getting the AARP card? He's 10. Why is he getting one?
He's 8 years old. Why? No AA part, baby.
Right.
No.
Why y'all sending him? Why is DMV sending him a notice? What is this
Right.
about?
Your registration is about to expire. He can't drive.
He can't get a
Listen, that was even
permit,
back in the day when you had people going to take the driver's test for you.
bruh.
Yeah.
I heard about that, but thankfully that was never.
See,
my
I never
testimony.
did it. I couldn't do it because by that time, everything was like you literally had to prove who you
Yeah,
were.
it was
Bring a birth certificate.
computerized at that point. Yep, that's right.
Almost had to give you your blood type to get just the permit.
Yeah, remember back in the day? I'm gonna tell y'all. I won't say who it is, but there was a certain choir that was getting ready to go. Where were we going? I think we were going to California. And there was a certain bass player that was supposed to go. He had informed them like the week of, I can't go. I happened to be home that week. So they sent me to Staten Island, asked me to take $150 to Staten Island to a certain individual. And this is back in like 1995, 94. And went to the individual. And within 2 days, they told me to go back to Staten Island. And I had a driver's license that wasn't mine.
That's crazy.
And so when I got back to the house, I was like,
that's not me.
My name is not Reggie. what is this? This is not who. I mean, my picture and everything. And
what is this McDowell's?
What is this McDowell's?
My son works.
Hey man, I turned around and I looked. When I got to that airport, you talking about somebody that had to pee. I was like, yo, these niggas don't. I got to tell y'all this 30 years ago, I got on that plane. We went to LA. I came back. When I got to LaGuardia Airport,
kissed the ground.
I took that boy. I was happy to see them cops. I was like, good afternoon, officer.
And you had to be real grateful to kiss LaGuardia at that time because LaGuardia
at that time, it looked like a third world country bus station.
If you've been to LaGuardia in the last 5 years, obviously that is a world of difference compared.
Oh God, yeah, man, that old terminal. Oh my Lord, I was like, this terminal been here since 1956.
Tanya, I don't know what terminal we were at because when I tell you when we got off that plane in LaGuardia for my birthday back a year, some months ago, that looked like we were in Tibet.
No, it looked like we were in 1988. Like it didn't.
Yeah, y'all were probably
like
in
Terminal.
So y'all were probably in Terminal A, the old terminal. That's the oldest one.
Old terminal.
Okay, that's
now,
okay.
When I tell you Delta now has taken Terminal B, and it looks like you're in Terminal C at Newark. Actually, it looks closer to Terminal A, really. That's where they got the fountain where the waterfall is coming down and the music notes are coming through.
Oh, we didn't. Oh, no, we didn't see. I could have swore we was gonna see lambs and chickens and crap coming out the belt when we got out of there. I was like, I'm waiting to see some immigrants come balled up in a suitcase the way that place looked.
You know how the belt, you know how the
we
belt
come in
is
peace
on
from
the
our
ground?
country. We come in peace with our country, baby.
Say again, Tanya.
Right.
You know how the belt on the ground, like you have to pick up your stuff and the belt is just like on the ground. It's like flat.
Yep.
That's what.
Yeah, that's
going
that's the
outside
old
and coming
terminal.
back in.
Yeah. That's why when y'all kept talking about this terminal the other day, I'm looking at her like, well, did we go to LaGuardia or somewhere else? Because that was not the crap we went to.
That's just like if you go to JFK. There's this one particular part of JFK that's still like from when
it's
they
like
opened JFK
the third world country.
It was still Idlewild Airport. It hadn't even become JFK yet.
Right.
It's a carryover from when it was still Idlewild Airport.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna
But
tell
if
y'all
you go to
another.
JFK, if you go to JFK and you go to that TWA terminal,
That's amazing.
that TWA terminal is amazing, and they kept it because they started building that. If you remember the movie Catch Me If You Can, they started building it
Right.
prior to that movie being filmed, and then they actually filmed a scene of well 9 scenes in that terminal. It
Mhm.
looks like the airports looked in 1960s. They
Yeah,
still have the old style of
yeah.
the screens up, so you know when your flight is coming in, and it's still flipping, and you can hear it like the ticker tape. It's
Mhm.
amazing.
Again, it's
I,
the difference between something
That's
that's just
nostalgia.
old as opposed to something that's been restored
Something that's
to have that
novelty, right?
appearance. You know.
I think, and the other airport, we're gonna move on, but the other airport is Newark Airport. Now, let me tell you, I get it, I understand. They fixed it up, they did what they had to do. But when I tell you, that airport is worlds different from what I remember too.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
at one point, Newark Airport looked like Newark Jail,
It sure did.
Ooh.
With a
and
beige floor.
but yeah, everything was eggshell. It just
Yep.
horrible. That airport. I literally did not like leaving out of the airport because I thought the planes were just as janky as the airport was.
Yep.
I never wanted to leave out of there.
Curiously
Newark
enough, one of
Airport
the
was
last flights
bad.
that I was on before COVID hit, I went out of the original Terminal A, not the new Terminal A, the original Terminal A.
That was like going back
Hmm.
35 years.
No, back more than that, because that Terminal A really, for the most part,
Was the original.
was still built and still looked like it was when they opened it back in 1970.
Yep.
And so,
All right, Tracy. So what that tell you?
literally,
The
because
only
I
thing they didn't
remember,
have was the restaurant. That was the only thing that was closed, but it was still there. They just closed that area off.
mhm, because
Yeah,
when I,
I
when I
can't deal
took
with
my
any
first
of it.
flight,
I don't like
the
any
very
of it.
first flight I ever took anywhere took from Newark. At that time, believe it or not, the
People's
whole
Express.
airport operated out of Terminal A. B and C, the buildings, the structures were there, but there was nothing actually
There
going
was
on.
nothing coming. And I remember when I was going back and forth to Europe, Continental Airlines at the time.
Yes, sir.
I
We
still
were
miss
leaving out of there.
I
Yeah,
still miss
Continental was the best one ever. You know,
For
when
sure.
United took over, I can't stand it no more. But when Continental was there, it was something. And I love that airline to death. I went on their DC-10s and
Yep.
their 747s, and
747s. Oh my lord,
their
the 747.
their 777s was off the chain too. Them
Yep.
planes was enormous.
The
But
87
I
is
just
huge. I love that one.
yeah.
Well,
So
I've been on
we you know
it's called the Dreamliner. Am I saying the right
Yep,
name?
that's the 787. Yep, the
that's
Dreamliner.
I've been on
787.
that a
Yep.
couple of times now, going to Korea, of course. But my first trip to Korea, I had the opportunity to ride my first time riding on a 747. And it was right around the time when United was literally phasing the 747 out of their fleet. So I got a chance to get on the 747 right before,
So
that
Tanya,
was
here you go.
2017.
So now the 747 situation. So Tanya's fascinated with planes. Like we were
I am too,
uh,
Tanya. You're not by yourself.
at a
Really?
restaurant,
Yeah.
and we were
Right.
coming out
Doing
of
a
we were going
brunch.
into the restaurant, and when we got over there, no, this was at Lazy Dog when we went before we went to
Oh yeah.
Port Martini. And we were walking up the stairs, and this plane shot over that building. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Some of the stuff I said, I was like, oh shit. It was bad. It was bad. But let me go back real quick. Terrence, do you remember when I used to work in Teterboro?
No.
Okay, so I was working at Great Barrier in Teterboro. I was right by the airport. I was right by Teterboro Airport. So when you came out of Great Barrier and you walked to the left, there was a Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, all the fast food was down on the next street.
Mhm.
So to get over there, there's another big huge building. I don't remember the name of it, but you have to walk across the parking lot to go over there. Well, in that the parking lot, as you're walking this way, going that way is the landing strip.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine it
And
raining
that
out
plane's
there.
coming right
the
over your head.
Cloud. Oh my
You're
God!
talking about
When
the 46 side of the airport.
I'm talking about the 46 side.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Over
you
by
know,
Bank
because
of America.
the
Well, it was United
161 would
Jersey at
drop
the
you
time.
off right there. The
Yep.
161 drop you off right there.
Mhm.
And I used to walk across that parking lot, and when I tell you, every private jet that was coming in,
Yes, sir.
my
Right over
head
your head.
scared the fire out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, just imagine, Tanya, just imagine yourself walking across an open parking lot. Like the building is huge. So you're walking across this parking lot. It is literally raining. There's not a sunlight in sight, no sun at all. And it's foggy. So you're
And all of a
walking
sudden,
across
you
this
look
parking
up.
lot, and all of us, you ain't even looking up. You're literally looking this way, and this big old giant jet just flies over your head. It feels like the wheel is touching you.
Because what people don't understand, while Teterboro is quote unquote a regional airport, 747s can land there, and I'm gonna tell you why I know.
Sure
Because
can.
I have witnessed there have been times when the president of the United States,
Air Force
Yep.
One landed there.
Everyone's on it a number of times.
when they will
Wow.
land Air Force One on that landing strip. Now
Yeah.
you can imagine. No, but can you imagine? There was some. It's been some years now. I can't remember what year it was that a plane was landing, and what happened was he was landing not coming in to land over the 46. He was coming from the opposite end, so he was stopping to get in. You know, like at the 46.
So
end
he
where
didn't
was
run
trying to
out
brake.
into 46.
He didn't make it. He
Yep.
skidded right across 46. So can you imagine you're in your car on a regular morning going to work, and all of a sudden this jet just comes shooting across the highway in front of you?
I'm telling
And bless the
y'all,
Lord, he didn't kill anybody.
Nope.
but this is the thing. I'm trying to tell y'all. That's in another plane. You're walking. There's nothing but you in the air, and then you see these lights on the runway. As you're walking past, you can see the actual lights. You see like you're aligned with the runway.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And this big old giant jet just literally comes up. And you know those things are loud. They're not quiet.
They're not
Yeah.
quiet. Those
But
are
it's
Lear jets.
crazy how
Crazy.
but it's crazy how they don't get loud until they come up on you.
Right. Like,
So you
it
don't
goes
hear it,
out
and then
back.
all of a sudden you hear this, and you're like, "What the?"
And here's the crazy
Listen,
part. Now it's right in that area. You got BJ's Brew House, you got Panera Bread, you got Costco, and you got Walmart's. So
If
there's
you
a
can remember,
whole lot of traffic that comes through there now.
Yeah, like way back in the day, on the one side of the airport used to be this huge factory that was just sitting over there. We never really knew what they
What
did
it
in there.
was.
All of
Other
that's
than the fact
torn
that they
down, and that's
sold, we do know that they did car wholesales in there.
yeah. But now in that same space of land, they've got a Walmart, they've got a Costco, and all these other places, Chick-fil-A. It's like all,
they can have
and it's
all
like
of
you
it.
look at it, and you say, and all of this used to be one facility, and you just look at how much land that space covered. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Man.
And so, with that being said, you know that was a scary time. Terrence, I didn't know. I don't know why you didn't know that, but yeah, I was working there for
I probably did, but
about
just
a year. It was about a year. Anyway,
I don't remember where Great Bear, because I think where Great Bear was, if it's where I think it was, I think that's where Amazon's warehouse is now.
I wouldn't know that now. I ain't been
It's
down
either
there.
Amazon or Eastwood College, one of the two.
Yeah.
Last time I was in that area was 1991.
So it was still
Two,
Great Bear and United
91.
Jersey Bank.
And
Yeah,
actually,
probably.
on the eastbound, no, I'm sorry, on the westbound side, closer to where Walmart is, back there used to be actually a Ford parts distribution place too, for Ford parts.
Well,
Yep.
like I said, that was 30 something years ago, and that's when I was I wasn't on the road, I wasn't touring, so I decided I'm gonna go and try to get a little job, and I went out there, had a job.
You needed money. You needed money. It's called finance.
And turned around, and Sam Ash called me and said, "You want to come work over here?" I said, "Yeah."
Heck yeah.
I got there, and 3 weeks later, had to leave. 3 weeks later, because I got a tour, and they was like, "Okay, you come back." I was out for a month, and then I came back, and then I got called again. Had to go out for another 3 weeks, and the manager went and said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "What do you mean? I want to work." He said, "But you're never here to work." He said, "This is what he said. A lot of these guys are here because they don't have the opportunity that you have. So they're living out their dream through working at a music store. You can't live out your dream at a music store. You have to go out there because are you going to stay here and let the tour go?" I said, "No." He said, "I'll keep you at your same rate as a sales employee and an employee at the, but go home." That's what.
Cam, did you work with Dean out there?
No, Dean wasn't there when I was there. No.
Okay.
When I got there, what year was Dean there?
Dean was there from like 93 to 95, 6, 7-ish.
So I was we crossed paths, but I don't think I ever really saw him because I worked in two places. I worked the bass guitar spot and the drum spot. So and
meeting
then
him there is the reason that I got to Trinity for the very first time. I went to buy a keyboard and I sat down and played. He was like, "I need you to come and play. We got our youth choir day coming up. I need you to come and play." And the rest is history.
Well, I didn't I had a friend there named Lenny Butler, and Lenny was the reason why I got hired there because he kept saying, "Yo, Kev, come through." But once I got there, I had to let him know, "Hey, man, I can't even stay." And I went and got 2 basses from them. Yes, I did. And I left.
Yes,
I was like, "Can I have that one in there?"
It's still hard to believe that Sam Ash doesn't exist as a brick and mortar anymore.
It's bad, But yeah, Tanya, Tanya, I got to be honest with you, and I'm glad we're saying this here. That was at a time when I was more on drums than bass at that one point.
Mm-hmm.
But playing bass when Terrence was there, that's why I tell y'all that Terrence been around for a lot because I was at his house all the time. But Terrence actually took me to get my first bass guitar that I actually purchased myself. Back at a spot called Musically Yours in Paramus.
What year was that?
That was 1993.
Yeah, I ain't had no license. Okay.
That is pricelessly hilarious.
We were in the Black Thunderbird. I'll never forget it.
Ooh.
And
I like that.
Terrence had that Black Thunder. Yeah, that car was something else, man. It went a lot of places.
It stretched from my house to about School 13, which is 2 blocks away. It was just a long.
Right. That's how big that car was.
That car was long.
But he took me to go get it, and I paid $700 for that bass. I'll never forget. And just looking at that money, Tracy, in my hand, buying my first bass,
right?
And I was sitting there going, "Oh my God." It wasn't even about the money. It was more so about the fact that, I'm buying this bass and nobody helped me get it. I'm getting it on my own. And I went and got the bass. I had this coffin for a bass case. That thing got nerves. It didn't fit. Yeah, it didn't fit in everybody's car.
The reason why he had to use the Thunderbird because that was the only car big enough to hold that daggone bass.
Right.
The bass case was almost as long as the car.
Yeah.
I mean, that case, Tony, if you'd have seen this, you'd have been mad at me because that case was so.
They knew Kevin was there 5 minutes before they actually saw him. That's how long the bass was.
That's how long the bass case was.
It's coming.
That case was huge. And when I got that bass, I remember I got it and we got in the car. We stopped at Ming's Kitchen and got something to eat. We came to the house.
Ming's always comes up every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. At least you knew where I was. You could listen. You didn't need a GPS when it came to Kevin. I was either at Terrence's house or at Ming's.
Once he got off stage, he was at Ming's.
Absolutely, Scott. That's right. When I got off playing, I went right to the Chinese restaurant. So anyway, we got to Terrence's house.
Pork fried rice, $1 extra pork, no vegetables.
Kevin, I'm just as bad as you, but I don't go to any of the ones that have. I go to Oriental and Hackensack. Like I literally call and she's like, if I show up early, she's like, "Well, you're early today."
Yeah,
it's bad.
No, it was so bad that they put my name on the menu. That's how bad that was.
Mm-hmm.
They put my name on their menu. Anyway,
sadly,
that's a damn shame.
The Mings that you remember is.
I remember. I know it's not. It ain't nothing like it was.
Mm-mm.
But I got to Terrence's house. We went over. We ate our Chinese food. We were watching cable because Terrence had cable hooked up a certain way. So after
I
that,
had to do scramble box.
Yeah, box. I remember that box
because everybody came to my house to watch WrestleMania and all that stuff like that, and anyway.
Avery, don't start. Just let me finish my story. You ready? Don't start. You ready? So and I took the bass out, and I looked at the bass for probably almost an hour.
I'm sure
because I had never owned a 5-string before, so I was like, I need a minute. I looked at it. I was dusting it off. I didn't want to pick it up. I just kind of looked at it. I was just like, let me just know. And so I finally picked it up and I just started playing and playing. So Terrence's wife, who, she and I have our own relationship, but she came inside. She was like, and Teresa has absolutely no softness at all. None. She came in and she said, "Is that what you've been saving up for?" I mean, she said it just like that. And I said, "Yeah." She said, "I don't hear nothing." I said, because it's not plugged up. She said, "Terrence, Kevin need to hear this guitar. He brought it. He need to hear it. That's exactly what she said. And 5 minutes later, Terrence said, all right. Anybody know how Terrence started? He said, all right, I'm coming. I said I'll be there. So about 5 minutes later, Terrence comes in and he starts taking all these wires apart. So I ain't thinking nothing of it because I told y'all we need to have a night we talk about Terrence, but he took the wires apart. He went inside, got a soldering gun. He came back inside, and he's sitting there. And he just I'm plucking away, and I'm glad he didn't. So about maybe 20 minutes later, he turns around and goes, "Here." I said, "What is that?"
Plug it up.
It's a 1/4 inch. Plug it up. I said, "What am I plugging into?"
Just plug it up.
I told you that's MacGyver right there, man. He got
Yo.
Plug it up.
Hey, I plugged that thing up. You heard it go. Tss. I said, "Uh-oh." And Terrence had turned up the stereo. I start playing. Tracy, that bass sounded better coming through his stereo than some amps at that time. It sounded off the chain.
I always had good stereo equipment. Never had cheap.
Yeah, his joints was old. Terrence had them old speakers, them old joints. And he went through it
on the speaker.
Well, these ones he had the cover. They had the what do you call the cover, Terrence?
The actual speaker itself has the big magnets on a.
Yeah. No, he had, yep. That's what he had. He had two of them, and then he had like some speakers on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat up there and I started playing it. I played that bass until the next morning.
I literally went to bed and just said, "All right, good night."
He closed it. He didn't close the door. He went inside. They closed their bedroom door. Teresa got her stuff. They turned all the lights off except the living room, the TV, and me. They left everything else. Kima had went upstairs to her room. Everybody was just gone. Mm-hmm. And I played that bass literally until the next morning. And I picked that bass up on like a Tuesday and went and got it. And I sat there and Terrence came out. He said, "So how's it feel?" Like he never went to bed.
Yeah, anybody that knew anything about me, you knew you were at a musician's house because my mother never complained about noise. Teresa, she complained, but we just didn't hear no.
She didn't mean it. She was just being Teresa. She didn't mean it.
But it's just her nature to fuss about things because she just likes to fuss about things. Anyway, that being said, point being that it was a musician's house because Chris would come through there. What's the other dude? I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about.
Tyrone.
Tyrone. That's
Tyrone. Yeah.
Tyrone.
Yeah.
I mean, all these younger guys would come through.
They can't.
And again, this was like
anyway.
It was a safe haven. It's not so much that I had all the equipment because I didn't. I had what I had, but I didn't have a lot. But the point was, everybody knew if you came through there, you was good. You was straight. There wasn't no problems. We could.
But they kept asking if I had changed my address because 9 out of 10 times, 23 hours a day, I was pretty much at Terrence's house.
Yeah. Wow.
I would come off the road. I would literally come off the road, and I would go either to one or two places. I went to my Aunt Dee Dee's house where she lived up close to West Patterson, or I was at Terrence's house. But I was at Terrence's house more than anything. And so
he would call. It was not. I don't say bad, but it was so real. Is that Lorraine, would be traveling and doing her thing. She wouldn't even call home first. She would call my house and say, "Okay, can I speak to Kevin?" I'm like,
"Yeah,
you don't think he's home? No, I know he's there. Just here you go."
Well, he just got off the road. No, she said, "Kevin just got home from Europe. Where is he at?" "He's right here." "Hello, you all right?" "I'm good." "All right, I'll talk to you tomorrow." And that's just what it was. So
once
but that's
and again, all other things aside, I thank God that all of us had that kind of relationship. Avery, your mom and your dad when he was living, Kevin, your mom, everybody knew if y'all was at my house, everything
343, 15th.
It was crazy
that's
because
it.
we know WrestleMania ain't end until like 11, so we all at Terrence's house 11,
He's
11:30.
just waiting to talk about this crap. He just wants to talk about it.
I didn't
want to talk about it.
I didn't bring it
He
up.
want to talk about it. And it wasn't WrestleMania, it was Survivor Series.
Or was it Royal Rumble? It was one of the two.
No, it was Survivor Series.
Okay.
It was Survivor Series.
No, they killed the Undertaker and he came back from the dead, man.
Yeah,
What up?
Kevin cried like a baby, bro.
Yo, whatever, man.
No,
Y'all, I
not
can't
just
believe y'all
Ethan.
talking
It was
about that like
literally
it happened.
water coming out of his eyes.
He was crying big tears, man. I was
Hey, Tanya,
dying.
listen. Just like people used to watch the stories back in the day, like All My Children and General Hospital and stuff, they would cry when people died. Yo, I had a moment. I was vulnerable. They killed my man and he came back.
I was
And Terrence
emotional when
was so-
Jesse died.
Terrence was so
Don't
petty.
fault
We
me.
was watching
I
it
caught
live.
I was caught in my
He
feelings when
rewinded it.
Jesse died.
Yeah, it was a live joint. This fool goes back and rewinds it. He literally goes back and rewinds it and says, well, Kevin, he got killed again. Like what? It was whack. I don't believe y'all played that the right way.
We had good fun though. All joking aside, we had good.
Yeah, we need to have a night where we literally just deal with Terrence, because I know a lot of people got a lot to say. But I want to tell y'all what I said at Appreciation Terrence had back in 2008 that nobody knew I was coming to. I told everybody, I said, y'all talked about how late Terrence was, but he always managed to be on time with your taxes.
Truth be
A
told,
lot of
Terrence was always
y'all-
late for services, but he was always on time for the choirs to sing.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He'll walk in right when the choir get ready to
Him
open
and
their
John
mouth.
Peters, man. John Peters was the same way.
John is my
John
hero.
would he would get there right when they would say, and the Bronx Mass Choir, would you all please come? And John would walk through the door.
So, Terrence, can I say I had one of your moments tonight because I forgot that I had a wedding rehearsal and revival was going on too. So
Not
I'm sitting
tonight.
in front of the church and they texted me like, "We'll see you in a few minutes." I was like, God. Thank God it was on the other side of town. So I fly up to the rehearsal. I get there. I was like, all right, y'all, let's go. Everybody's here. Let's move. It's a small wedding party. It's a morning wedding. We getting this done. I'm doing this wedding on my lunch hour on Friday. That's how short it is. I was like, let's do what we need to do.
You're doing the ceremony.
No, I'm playing for it. But I was like, let's move because I got to get back to the other side of town to get back for revival. And I literally walked in the door as the preacher was getting up. I was like, well, God, I thank you, because I had to be on the organ. And then, of course, he says, and I see the voice that I've listened to and loved for so many years sitting in the
Lorraine
house.
was there tonight.
She was there tonight. And he asked her to sing.
Because we
When
had
I
spoken
say,
earlier today, that's why I knew she was
when
there.
I say I literally was taking my coat off as he grabbed the microphone, I said, I feel like Terrence walking in the door right now. I am never this late for church.
And Terrence be trolling. He won't just walk to the org.
Terrence don't rush.
Terrence
He
is
don't
strolling.
rush. He don't rush.
I
He don't rush.
Y'all waiting for
I
me.
believe he don't run. I believe he
He
don't.
don't.
He don't run.
Terrence,
Terrence
they
ain't
had
gonna run.
called. I'll never forget. They called Interfaith to sing one time, and Terrence was walking in, and Tony was standing in front of the choir talking, and all 39, 40 people in Interfaith watched Terrence walk down the aisle, and he was shaking hands with people like the president. He would not. And I'm sitting on the drums. Worm is on the. All of us are like ready to go, and Terrence is literally sitting there like, I'll be there in a minute.
The organ works, right? It's on. All right. All I gotta do is sit down.
All jokes aside, though, there was like when Terrence walked in, there was like a sense of confidence in the choirs and the musicians.
They never was upset when he would show up. They all of a sudden brothers weren't mad anymore.
Yeah.
Where is he?
But before that,
oh, he's here. Okay.
And then we'd be calling him. He won't answer the phone. I'm like, oh my God.
Now,
Tanya, wait, no, Terrence, hold on. Terrence, time out. I'm calling the audible right here. Tanya, please let me tell you this. Tanya and Tracy. Please let me tell you. The way the church was set up, they could not bring the bus down the street to the front of the church. So we had to go on a street called Market Street. So Market Street was literally at the corner of the church. So I want them to understand. So the bus holds about 54 people, 55 people. That bus was huge, and these streets are not wide. Streets in Jersey are not wide.
And it was a dead end.
Do you know we would have to turn around? Everybody would come to the church and park their car in the church at Bible Way's parking lot. They would park in the parking lot. And we would all be on the bus, and the next thing we would be told was, we gotta go get Terrence.
We going up 15th Avenue.
Get Terrence from where?
Let's qualify that.
Hold on, Terrence. Hold on.
No. At the time, I did not have a car.
But you were not that far from the church, though. Everybody else got to the church. We had to come to your house and get you.
Because nobody's trifling but will come to my house and pick me up. How about that? We
So
gonna
they
talk
made the
about
bus
it.
come
Let's
up
talk
to
about
Avenue
it.
to pick you up.
Tanya,
They sorry. They didn't mean to. They
Tanya,
sorry.
Tracy,
Mhm.
Tanya, and Tracy.
Mhm.
We would all be
Anyway.
on this bus, and literally, they would swing that big giant bus around to Madison Avenue
I bet
and
that thing was like it was gonna tip, wasn't it?
all the time.
Well,
And
now,
Terrence can't say what it looked like because he was never on the bus.
yes, I
They
did. I
sorry.
was
They
on the
didn't
bus
mean
after you picked me up, wasn't
After you,
I? I was on the bus
Tanya,
after you picked me up.
Tracy, they would take big bus down 50. These streets are not wide. These are
Well,
these are
by
narrow
my
These are
house,
streets.
it's
residential
better than it is
streets.
by the church. By my house,
Listen,
it's better than it is.
a
by the church.
big bus ain't got no business going down that street, but that
At
bus would
all.
come down there, and then we would get to the Terrence couldn't get to the church, so we would get to the church and still have to wait.
Get into the house and still have to wait.
Well,
Welcome
to
to
the
my
house
world.
rather.
Welcome to my
We
world.
would
'Cause this is what I have to deal with every time he rides with me somewhere.
we
I'm like,
would
how long
get
I'm gonna sit outside for 10 minutes waiting for him?
hey,
9 out of 10, but not every time. There was
No,
that.
it
we
was
would
every
get
time, bro.
There
It's
was
every
that.
time for me.
Tracy, we would get to his house and we would have to move the house. The bus would literally, like, the houses were like joined together. So no, they weren't. A lot of them weren't. But the bus took up literally almost 3 to 4 houses on the street, literally sitting there with the
Just sitting there
hazards on,
idling, waiting for
waiting
him.
for this man to come out and get on the bus. And
So
then he
what
gets
was
on. Huh?
what was he doing?
Waiting for
He
the
right
bus.
there. Ask him. He right there.
Waiting for the bus.
No, can I say what he
No.
was doing? Can I say it like I'm feeling it right now? He was taking his sweet ass time. That's what he was doing.
No, that wasn't the case.
Terrence,
Let
there
me
is
tell you
no
something.
urgency in Terrence moving unless he got to go to the
Absolutely.
bathroom.
Okay,
Let me tell you something.
let me share something
Can
with
I say?
you.
Can I say
before-
one thing?
Go ahead, Tony, because I got to share something with these brothers. Go ahead.
Ever since that whole situation, you picking up them kids from New York.
Okay, you gonna have to
She
let
believe
that go.
everything we say. She
You gonna have
believe
to
it.
let that go, baby.
No, I believe what they saying because you was like, he was like, we'll see. I don't know, and we didn't know.
And
till
we
the
saw.
last minute.
We saw.
And we saw.
We saw.
Because you said we'll see, and we saw. You right.
You saw.
So
I ain't coming.
this makes
They
sense.
better get here the best way they can.
There's one
And they
factor.
did, and they piled up.
Now,
They piled
Avery,
up.
Sardines.
and Kevin and Scott, because you are in a different perspective on this than Tracy
Sardines.
and Tanya are. All of y'all know
You
all
had
of
them
the
kids
time-
looking like sardines.
I
sound very
have a
familiar.
wife named Teresa. And you know how she can
Who
be.
always
That's
finds
all you
something
had to
wrong
say.
when you got something to do. Every time it never fails.
Exactly. So a lot of times I carry the weight of, okay, I'm slow, okay, I'm this, that, the other. But a lot of those times it had very little to do with me and my actions, but me responding because I still had to come home.
Now, I will say I have borne witness to that, so I get it.
And we're gonna leave it
Listen.
at there. Let's move on. Because
I bore witness to it too. Because
So
I'm gonna
now
tell
that,
you
now
this
that we're
much.
shooting on somebody else, now you want to move on. But as long as it's on me,
No,
you're fine. You want to keep talking on my back.
Because you're here, you
That's
can
how you
defend
wanna do it,
yourself.
No,
That's how
out
you
of
wanna do it,
respect for Teresa. No, out of respect for Teresa. That's enough. We don't want to be too hard on her.
Oh, let me tell you
Yeah,
something.
they don't want, they don't want us to gang up on the ladies.
Listen. Let me tell you
part.
something. And I want to say this as gracious as I can. We're not ganging up on the ladies. We're talking about Teresa.
No, I'm talking about Teresa.
Yeah, Teresa was
No,
tough.
Teresa is a different caliber.
Everybody knows what I'm saying. You're saying we don't want to gang up on the ladies. I said
No, we talking
we're
about
not
Teresa.
ganging up on the ladies. We're talking
We're
about
ganging about Teresa.
Teresa.
It's
No,
different.
I'm saying
As
not
it
too
says.
hard on her, not the lady, not too hard on Teresa.
No, I
don't
understand.
know.
Okay, you're not listening. You're not
Teresa is
understanding.
of
What
a
I'm
different
saying is,
caliber.
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. I'm just saying
I'm
that.
Teresa's baby,
trust
so
me.
I don't talk about her like that.
Well,
So
we don't
All right,
care
so let's
about.
move
Yeah.
on. We know we get it.
Avery, am I
You
misrepresenting anything in what I'm saying?
no, you're right.
Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you
I
very
didn't
much.
say you were wrong. I just don't want you to have to go home
Hey,
and have to say, I heard
hey,
this on
Tracy.
the internet.
Hey, Tracy. Let me tell you something. If Teresa heard it on the internet, you know what she's gonna say? I'm gonna
What?
tell y'all exactly what she's gonna say.
She's gonna say, and I did.
I don't give a no.
That's
She's
exactly
gonna
what
say,
I'm saying.
I don't give a D what they say. I am who I am. I don't care. They could listen. And
Not a
she go,
D.
was Kevin on there?
No, an F.
Yeah, Kevin was. Yeah, he
I
was
don't
on
give an
there.
F, right?
I don't give an F.
I don't get right. I don't get. They can say what they want to say. Was Kevin on there? Oh, okay. Tell him he ain't getting no more pork chops. That's exactly what's going to come out of her
Because
mouth.
she will never let you live that one down, bro.
No,
She will
no,
never let you live
no.
that one down.
Teresa made pork chops one day. I was home. I was at my mother's house, and I was on the phone with Terrence. And Terrence said, Kevin. I said, yeah. She said, Teresa making pork chops. I hung the phone up in his face and took my mother's keys. Took my mother's keys and literally drove to 343 15th Avenue. And when I knocked on the Teresa opened the door and said, "Oh, they on the table." So she said.
She knew.
I got the pork chops. I got some slices of bread. I took a piece of foil, and I left. I went home.
Just like that.
There was nothing to talk about, and they said nothing.
Listen, now, most of you know Pastor Jason Moody, and you know he's the oldest. He has a brother right under him, Logan Moody. So this one particular day, they just happened by. I don't even know why, but for whatever reason, they came in. Now you remember, you guys remember how the kitchen was set up on 15th Ave. When you came in that kitchen door, the refrigerator was like directly in front of you,
directly in front of it,
on the other side of the room. They came by. Hey, how you doing? Both of them came by, went to the refrigerator, each of them got a box of cereal off the top of the refrigerator, said, "Okay, see you later," and walked out.
That would be about right.
And me and Teresa were just like, "Oh, okay." But again, the relationship that we had, you know, their parents and whatnot, everybody knew if they were on 15th Ave, everything was all right. There was no problems. There was no issues.
Sure.
They didn't have to worry about any drama, any.
Tanya and Tracy, this is Teresa's demeanor. Teresa could be fussing, yelling up a storm. I walk up, hey, how you doing? This is ridiculous. And then turn around and say, and how's your mother doing? Like, what? What's just happening?
Yeah, if split personality was a person, there it is, right there.
By the way, say happy birthday to her. I know I was right. Today is her birthday. Hers was
today. Is her birthday? What's today?
No,
hers was Monday.
It was Monday.
Oh,
whose birthday is today?
No,
hers was Monday.
Oh, you know whose birthday is today? Jimmy Richardson.
Oh Lord.
Oh wow, that's right.
Jimmy, who is that?
Jimmy. Again, part of our church family from back in the day.
My mother's ex-boyfriend.
Lorraine.
I mean that part.
Baby,
I ain't gonna go there, but and he was our church drummer for a long.
Jimmy Richardson is the reason why I'm playing drums.
I call him the jazz man.
People would be shouting and he'd be playing jazz. I'm like, what the entire hell are you doing? So they be like, they be like this. He be talking about.
We be doing a shout beat. Jimmy would be playing like what's
like A-Train or some crap. He playing
Buddy Ray.
I'm not dancing. What are you doing?
Wait a minute, I'm cracking up because I can actually hear it and see it.
Yeah, they're talking about he's
yeah. And like when I was younger, there used to be a radio station in New York.
Tracy, that is funny.
There was a radio station, WRVR, and they played all jazz. If you rode anywhere, like if the choir had to go out, all of us kids wanted to ride in Jimmy's car because we were listen to jazz.
Yep.
We were going to listen to the music.
Jimmy was the man. All right. Can we get to the show now?
Good afternoon.
Okay, I forgot. The new president, what to expect? Yeah, Terrence, you got me just. Oh, yeah. What are we expecting from the new president?
Exactly what you dealt with already with the police.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be a lot of profiling going on.
Yep.
And unfortunately, now people, and I don't know what it is, but thankfully we've got people that are searching and showing us how stupid people are, because now there's a trend going on where everybody's going online. How do I change my vote?
Mm-hmm.
Y'all realize you messed up now. It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
It's
Can't
too
do nothing
late
about that. Yeah,
I saw that.
This man from day one has already said what he was going to do.
Exactly.
And the moment that he found out he wanted to vote, he's like, I'm deporting families. Forget individuals. If you're gonna miss your family, well, you could go with him. He's deporting. I'm like, and it takes Elizabeth Warren, who said, I'm part of the reason why the law was written. All the stuff that he's doing now, even with setting up his whole cabinet, is illegal. He should not be doing this already. Even if you're doing it in private, it should not be publicized to everybody that you are
That's
naming all of the people of your cabinet
But
already.
we know who we did. Him and Elon Musk, man. These two
It's
cats.
true.
I
Dude,
can't.
when I
I
heard Elon
can't
Musk
stand.
this morning, I literally sat at my desk and went, there's no way in hell I am living in 2024 and
Yep.
hearing that Elon Musk is going to be given a governmental positions.
Yep.
What are we doing
Yep.
here? So
And
I
not
That's
think
only
why.
that,
That's
but
why
he's
he put so much
also
money into it.
That's insane.
yeah. That's what happened. The money's talking again. That's
oh,
all that is. But
absolutely.
also,
Yeah, just like Ted DiBiase said, everything's got a price.
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just, and even looking at it now, I saw today, I read it that basically Trump is Elon Musk is encouraging Trump to dismiss funds for education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to end the Department of Education.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
So
for those
and
that don't know, the DOE actually controls higher learning. So all the people that are saying, "Oh yeah, defund that," we don't need that. These are people that have never done anything past high school, and not saying
That's
that you
sad.
can't get a good life without that, without a degree and without multiple degrees. That's great. But for those that want to pursue college, now you're leaving it up to the college to decide whether they want to admit people or not. You're
Uh,
getting rid
that's
of
crazy.
diversity, equity, and inclusion. You're getting rid of all of that.
yeah.
Affirmative action is pretty much a
Everything.
dead thing.
So
It's
it's almost
either
like civil rights is in the toilet.
oh yeah, yeah. So the NAACP is getting ready to be outlawed too,
Yeah.
because they won't have any grounds to fight for anybody who want education. So now that's why it was always being said, look, y'all, we gotta buy black, we gotta invest in black, we gotta make sure we go to black banks, we
For
gotta,
sure.
sign up for black credit unions and all this other stuff. Because they knew somewhere down the line, if they tried to bring the Jim Crow experience back to the United States and to, this particular, because they're trying to create a civil war. They want more people to die.
I'll say two
They do.
words: Tulsa, Oklahoma.
They don't
They
want
want more
people
people
to
to
die.
die.
They want more black and brown people to die.
Like I said,
That's
I'll
what I'm
say two
saying. They
words.
want
Two
more.
words:
Yeah,
Tulsa,
right.
Oklahoma.
Tulsa,
They want us to die.
It happened
But
in
I
Tulsa,
told y'all, and I'm gonna keep saying it until I can't say it no
Rosewood,
more.
Florida.
But I'm gonna tell you now, the one form of people, the one body of people, the one ethnicity of people that want all of us to get the hell out of here is these Indians. We was
Yeah.
fine till you niggas showed up.
You and Pale Face.
Look, you and little brown wolf and little lay whatever that we
Do
were
you know how many of
fine.
them voted for him though?
Yeah, because they
And I
they
said, my
still
thing
want to
is
use him. They want to
exactly
use
you
him
vote
to
for
get us
him.
out of here.
So when they come, that's fine. But understand, just like he's gonna get us out of here, he's gonna get y'all out of here too. So when you
Yeah.
lose your reservations,
Got
I don't want
that
to hear
right.
nothing.
It's only about a matter of time.
I think the biggest thing now, somebody said something, my sister said it. I think Tanya said it. I'm sure Tanya said it. Tracy, I didn't hear you say it. But it said being a woman in this generation is such a horrifying threat.
It
Is,
is.
is what it got to.
Yeah.
Can y'all speak on that? Because we can't. So can y'all speak on that?
Because if you think about, there's no laws against men doing anything, right?
Right.
It's you're talking about us bringing in life, right? And whether we want to make a choice or not.
Right.
Now, it's just I don't know. And then for the man who is trying to put this into place, and the people who are following this man, and all the allegations, or I would say he probably did do it, but all the things that he's done in his past to be the one to make that choice, who has also been somehow negatively impacting a woman in that space, it's just it's sad. It's completely sad. Now, biblically, do I agree with it? But I think that if the Lord gives us a choice, how are you get to make my choice your option?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
My thing that I don't understand is you want to take away abortions, but it's all right for you to gun down black men in the streets. What?
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's just too much. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The truth is the people they don't have a problem with abortion. They have a problem with the abortion of white babies.
That's it.
That's really the truth about it.
Well,
Do you really think they could care
less
less if all the blacks and Hispanic people in the world abort their babies? They could care less.
Don't
That
care.
does them a favor because they want our numbers to go down. But because our numbers don't go down, and the fact is, a lot of white girls are now attracted to men of ethnic and stuff like that. They don't want the mix.
Did you say now? And that's been a long time.
Well, I don't mean to say like it's just happening, but the point is that trend is even stepped up a little bit more because the world we live in, the younger people don't see the same differences in race in terms of that. They're just like, okay, I like you, I don't like you. They don't.
Tanya,
the race isn't as big of an issue for a lot of them.
That marshmallow been wanting that chocolate for a long time.
A long time.
You've been waiting for a long time.
And once you get it, they don't want to stop.
And anyway,
until they get in trouble, then they want to sit
What's
there
the
and
old
put it
adage?
in jail for rape.
That part.
Once you go
that
black,
part, Avery.
don't go back.
Once you go black, you never go back.
Right. Well, until you it ain't good no more. Somebody did something, and now they a horrible person.
But the truth is, abortion is.
Wait, what was that movie? Once you go black, you need a wheelchair. What movie was that?
That was
White Chicks.
White Chicks. Yeah.
But
that was Susan said that once you go black, you're gonna need a wheelchair.
But they could care less about black people and Hispanic people having abortion.
That's right.
It's
not just abortion. They could care less about us. Period.
Yeah, but
it ain't just abortion.
But the point is, the truth be told, that culturally, I'm not saying it never happens in our cultures, but it's less likely to happen in our cultures compared to the Anglo. The Anglo culture, that's their first thing because here's the problem. Muffy done went out and she, like you said, she done slept with a black man. She cannot bring a baby that ain't blue haired and blonde hair. It's all right. It's after 10 o'clock over there. You all right? You all right?
The movie Life. That's all.
Yeah.
That's their worst fear. That's their worst fear because they feel they're losing the grip as it is now. And the more we do what we do, they don't want to. And they really wish they could have written the law that way, but they know that equal whatever would have had a conniption. But they really saying we just really want to restrict abortion on white folks.
Yeah.
I want to say this. I go ahead, Tracy. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tracy.
No, I think that it's odd for a woman because there are women that voted for Trump.
And there's a lot of women.
I think that is odd. That speaks to something inside of you that says, I want to be tortured. I'm used to being mistreated. I have some mental issues. I need to be on medication. There are some issues there. And there were some black men also who voted for Trump.
There were some, but did you see what the number of black men was that voted for Kamala?
No.
Of the black men that voted, it was 82% of black men that voted for her.
Wow.
So I don't mind 18% voting for him because this 18% was stupid. I get it.
But you know what? I still believe
with the rest of these demographics. Something is just not sitting right in my spirit. And the prophetic side of me is saying that something is going to come out before January 20th.
Dude, he's not going to stay president long. He might not even have a chance to even experience because I believe in my heart that there was a tampering because one thing Donald Trump did not say was, well, they cheated. I wasn't given the rights to be president. They took my votes and all this other stuff.
Wait,
so the reason why
one thing that Donald Trump didn't say was anything. He's not saying anything.
That's what I'm saying.
That was the first time he opened his mouth at the White House when he was sitting.
Because he's basking in the fact that what he did worked.
Yes, true.
That's exactly what's happening.
Because of choice, I still feel like out of whatever that number was, 74% of his votes from women were from black women. I'm confused about that.
Black women.
They lied.
So
bro.
you don't even trust your own person. Yeah, that's something.
They lied. I'm gonna tell you why I know they lied because there was a young lady that I'm not a fan of at all. She came up and got on social media and said, "You can't tell us what to do with our coochies." That's what she said. And she said, "I'm going on here and I'm going to everybody." She had almost 4.5 million people who liked the page, who liked the comment. She had over 62,000 comments on her page, and that's that sexy red girl. I'm not a fan of hers at all.
Not a
But
fan.
when she went over there and said what she said, Tony, did you throw up a little bit?
She
When she
did.
said what she said, now we thought Beyonce was going to do something. We thought Kelly Rowland was going to do something, and everybody don't like them.
Listen, and even Taylor
But
Swift.
yeah,
Taylor
I saw
Swift,
that.
she went for Kamala.
Yeah,
So we like,
and
okay,
so
Beyonce and Taylor went for her. We think it's gonna be. That's why I said
well,
something's just not right.
I don't count even. Man, listen, I don't count. I heard this and it was a very profound statement. Black folk can't help you in the White House.
That's the truth.
They
The
can't.
only thing they can help you do is build it.
And
And
pray.
that's it.
Let me just say something real quick. Pause. Tracy and that dress, that's the truth.
We can't help you in the White House because I want to tell everybody we seem to forget
That's the
that the
truth.
Constitution was not made up by any black people.
That's the
It
truth.
was not made
No,
up
not one.
to support black people.
In this time.
It was not made by black people. The Constitution was not. It said we the people for the people. They were not talking about niggas because while they were sitting up there writing that Constitution,
We were
they,
not free.
they were thinking we were not
No,
going to be
because we weren't
around.
people. We were 2/3.
We're not
We were not
people.
we were not people.
We were not even considered in the running to be considered.
But do you understand? Even in the South right now, there's still laws that protect slavery in the
Bro,
South.
I lived
That
in
part.
Tennessee for 10 years, and I'm going to tell you right now, I went to Pulaski. And I'm telling you, when I went up that, whatever road that was, I don't even want to remember it. But when I went up there and I saw that they had a sign that said, "Don't let the sun go down on your black ass."
I got
That's
a
a
better one
whole
for you,
sign they
Kevin.
got there.
I got a better one for you. A friend of mine was a bus driver for Belton Tours, which is no longer in existence. And he said to me, he said, Scott, I've never been so scared in all of my life. He said they were on the interstate and they were diverted because there was a bad accident. He said, and so I said, all right, you know what? I'm going to follow the map. That was back in the day before we had MapQuest. So I'm looking at the map. I'm following this and saying, you know what? This runs alongside the interstate. We'll cut through a little bit and we'll come back around. He said he got on a side road and the sign read, he said it was a blue sign. You saw a black man in a running position, and the sign read, and I quote, "Run, nigga, run. And if you can't read, run anyway." He said, I took that bus, turned it around in the dirt, took my black ass back to the interstate, and sat in that traffic. He said, because the one thing that they were not going to do was lynch all 40 on the bus that were on that bus.
That's a fact.
They were
I
having a
had
lynch party. Me and
I-
Kevin were in. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Kevin and I were in South Carolina. Well, yeah, South Carolina. We were going to Myrtle Beach from Columbia, and there was an accident or something happened. It was deterring us from getting on the freeway, and we were going through. I said, "I'm seeing all these Confederate flags." I'm like, I don't know, like,
Yeah,
we need to get
I'm
through
sorry,
this
y'all.
section.
I can't do it. I lived around
just
it.
Imagine just going to one of your white friends' houses, and next thing you know, you see a slave literally working. That's what I'm talking about. Like nowadays, in right now in the South, like in Louisiana, well, not Louisiana, but yeah, Louisiana,
Louisiana,
Alabama,
yeah.
all of those states,
The
they
Bible Belt
want,
states.
huh?
The Bible Belt.
Yeah, but they all have laws that protect slaves.
Sure do.
That's crazy to me.
That's crazy.
So living in Tennessee, I lived in a spot called Wilson County, and Wilson County was right next door to a city called Lebanon. And to get from my house where I used to live, it's not my house anymore, the house that I used to live in, it was in the subdivision. So when you got to the end of the subdivision, you can either make a left or a right. If you made a left, you were going towards Andrew Jackson Parkway, which led you to I-40. So you know you're going downtown. But if you went to the right, that was going towards Lebanon, some of those other rural, I can't say rural for some reason, but rural areas. When I was behind me, but no, I say radiator. I don't say radiator. But when you make the right and you go down the street, there's farmland, and then after the farmland, once you pass the farmland, I forgot the name of the other street, you run into this area where you can feel racism. It's not even so much that you see it. It just feels like the air has bigotry all throughout it.
Trust me, I know.
So when
There's
you
a
go
city.
up there, and you get to the street, it's called McDuffie, I think that's the name of it. You can make a left or right from that street, and when you get over there, you see Confederate flags. You see, I saw a Confederate flag, and then I saw something that had the Aryan Brotherhood on it, and I saw all of it, and I said, I'm gonna do my hardest to make sure I don't come this way because I ain't scared of none of them. But you can't beat 12 and 15 and 100. And these guys ride on motorcycles. They don't have any regard for the law. They don't care nothing about the law. If they wearing them leather jackets with them swastikas on it, they do not care. They don't care. Killing you is a sport. It's not a problem.
But that's here too in North Carolina. If you take the back road from Charlotte to Raleigh, you pass a city called Troy, and that's where they have their Klan meetings at.
Ain't nobody doing that, and don't nobody want to live in that.
Right.
Especially
so can I
when
bring
I
it a
used to
little
live.
closer to home for Avery, Terrence, and Kevin. I will never forget that I was teaching journalism, and I started teaching in 2007. I was teaching a journalism class, and we were doing some research on stuff and just looking at how the city in our state are so overly run with the Klan. And so I'm going down a rabbit hole just looking at stuff. And I remember talking to them about one of my former instructors. He had a student who ran into a guy at A&P, what is now Whole Foods in Wayne. And this guy walked up to him and said, "Oh, you should come to our meeting." Now, the young man looked very, 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 very white, but he was half black. And he was like, "Oh, I'm going to go." And my teacher told him, "You're an idiot if you do." So it turned out that it was a Klan meeting, but it gets even closer than that. There's a spot in Elmwood Park, Terrence, Avery, and Kevin, you might know. If you come off of, thank you, have a good night. If you come off of Route 80 in Elmwood Park, just before you get to the police station, there's a little building that sits over to the left-hand side.
I know exactly the spot you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about too.
Right on River Road. Right on River Road.
Right on River Road. At that building, there was a Klan meeting in 2007. And they met there religiously until somebody from the Elmwood Park Police Department figured out what was going on. And they said, "Y'all got to go. You can't stay here." And when they went back and looked at the history, they had been meeting there for over 50 years, once a week. These people were meeting right in our backyard. And where I'm talking about, Tracy and Tanya, was literally 6 minutes from my door.
Wow.
Good Lord.
These people were meeting and having KKK meetings. And so, again, me going down a rabbit hole, I now find out that New Jersey has the highest concentration of the KKK in the country.
Wow, didn't know that.
Yep.
Such a small state.
Yep. This whole state is loaded with it. But Passaic County, we've got a large contingency that lives specifically up West Milford, up in that area.
Wow.
Oh, that's like Bergen County, right?
No,
West,
County.
Wow.
West Milford is Passaic County.
West Milford way, up in that direction.
Put it this way: if anybody's been paying attention to the fires that's been happening in New Jersey, where everything is burning right now, that area.
That's the area you're talking about, basically.
Oh.
Yep.
Good God Almighty.
Yep.
We gotta talk. We got to talk to Tracy a little bit more because Tracy getting sleepy.
What's going to destroy it by? Fire.
So here's my thing. Here's my thing. I knew that there was a lot of concentration, but we're getting ready to see in these next couple of until we get to the bottom of whether he won or not.
Right.
I think we're gonna see a lot of stuff going on. Yeah, it's a lot is gonna be exposed.
Crazy. Like when he wins, when he won, you could actually feel
it felt
white
weird.
people privileged. Yeah,
It
white
felt
people just felt so privileged. Oh, you can't cut in front of me. I'm like, good God.
It got bad. Like the next morning when I went to work, they were gloating and they would speak to me and say, "How are you?" And I'm great. How are you?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, it was that
See,
bad.
You a
Yeah,
better one than me.
yeah. I remember when I was a kid, separate from this, but I remember when I was a kid, there's a spot not that far. I think it's like 45 minutes away from us, and it's called Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yeah,
Lynchburg
man.
is just
Yeah, over there by
Yeah,
Willie
Danville.
man.
Lynch.
I know exactly what that's at.
The name says it all.
Willie Lynch.
When I
That's
hear
by
Lynchburg, I
Danville.
don't hear roses and tomahawk steaks and roller
And the
coasters.
saddest part, that is where one of the largest Christian universities is.
It
Liberty
is
University, Jerry
Yeah.
Falwell.
right, Liberty. That's
Yep.
right.
But with that, Tracy, the bottom line is it's starting to seep through, like you just heard. I just heard this for the first time. I didn't know. But to have it where the most concentrated KKK presence is in New Jersey, where the KKK actually started in Forsyth, Georgia.
Sure did.
And
Wow.
they made their way up to
They-
Tennessee. But what we have to understand is
Up south.
it started in the South, even when the Civil War was going on. The
No,
reason
but
why
that's
the
why they
Civil
call
War
us
was happening,
up south.
that's why exactly, because they
Right.
literally were dealing with situations where they had it so that at the end of the day, the black people, anybody of color in any ethnicity, was considered to be minority because they always made it look like white folk won everything.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So they didn't. But now, what I want people to understand, and I'm a little passionate about this, I know how dangerous I am. If I really stick to something, you better believe I'm going to stick with it hard, and I'm going to come behind it with some force, because especially if you mistreated somebody and
Yeah.
you felt like you were going to abuse their character and who they are. Y'all did this to us for years. Y'all been doing this to us, right? But again, I
Yep.
got to go back to when I went to that museum one time. I went to that museum and I saw that stuff. It made me read a little bit more. So there was times that I'll be asleep and I would wake up, I'd grab my phone and I would look. And I'm sitting here going, y'all brought us on boats. They said you wouldn't even go down below in the bow of the boat because it smelled so bad, because we had infections and we weren't clean, and you did all this stuff.
Yep.
But then you got our dirty bodies and you put us on this land and you made us work. You took our children. They were, they had homemade abortions. They like, you're not gonna have this baby. They
Right.
would literally take hangers and damage women,
Yep.
and they would do that kind of stuff. And my biggest thing
You stole our
was
music and called it your song.
you
Amazing
talk
Grace. Oh, I'm sorry.
and so
That's the
so now what happens is when you see that I'm legal, when
You
you
don't
see
like
that
it. It
now
makes you angry.
yeah.
I have every right to drive this car. I have every right to be in this building. I have every right to eat
They
this
don't
food.
like
I have every right to stand outside and do whatever the hell I want to do, because you can't tell me this is the land of the free and the home of the brave, because y'all been punks forever. You hide behind your authority, which is that insulated body you got called white skin. And you sit here and you abuse my freedom based on the fact that you want to play with me every single chance you think you have an opportunity. So if I got a friend, Tony Royster, he's out there in LA. He had just bought a Charger, 2000, like a 20 Charger, and he was doing the speed limit, and they pulled him over 9 cop cars with just one black boy in this Charger. He had a Hellcat, and you're in this car, and you're sitting up there and profiling him, gonna tell him we had another person that we're looking for. He looks just like you.
the drummer,
Not
right?
one,
Wow.
absolutely,
Yeah, the drummer.
not one black cop around.
But
Because
that's why I get.
a black cop would have said, that ain't him. I
Mhm.
know who y'all looking for. That ain't, 9 out of 10 times it might be somebody I know, but I know that ain't him.
That ain't him. Right.
But that's why
And
I
you,
get so mad at our people, because it's like we're doing this black on black crime and killing each other. It honestly, that started in slavery times, because they was
Yes, it
putting
did.
us against each other. They
Yes.
didn't want us to work together.
House
Right.
niggas, field niggas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and with that being said, this is why, and my friend Eric Moore and I had this long conversation yesterday, and he was talking about business. He was talking about how black people just don't know how to come into business together and take over the world. So I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. I went to his house yesterday. He got a beautiful house too. His house is just beautiful.
Wow.
So we went over there, and I took my stick bag over there. So when he came and got me, I got in the car, and he's like, "Why is this nigga bringing a whole stick bag, a Vic First stick bag, and he know I got a drum company? Like I got a stick company. Like I'm gonna have sticks that you could use. Like why would you bring that bag?" And I was like, "Man, I totally forgot. You know, I'm just used to what I'm used to." He said, "But I got
Be
you something big,
ready.
bro." He said, "Let me tell you this." He said, "We've been brainwashed to believe that Vic First, Zildjian, and Sabian are the only products that you need for any type of drums."
That's the truth.
He said, "That's what we brainwashed." So when somebody like me comes out with a stick company and I say I got a stick company, I got to literally try to undo people's minds to believe that this is the only drum equipment that you're ever going to need because it's the only one that exists. He said, that's the only thing that I'm going to have to undo is the fact, like, I saw these musicians going in and out about what's better, Yamaha or Roland, and I'm sitting here going, here's the funny part about this. Y'all ready for this? Here's the funny part. This is the funny part. The funny part is you're arguing over companies that don't care nothing about you, first of all.
They don't even know
they don't care nothing about you. They don't know you. The second thing is, if you really want to have an argument, stop fighting about everybody else's name and put your name on it.
That's right.
If you're gonna do anything, put your name on it. So then that way, when you having an argument, you go, "Man, y'all still arguing about that? I just came out with my own line of keyboards yesterday. Why don't y'all try me out? Y'all, because these companies don't care nothing about y'all. I got basses sitting right here. I'm like, you know what? I'm tired of playing everybody else's stuff. I'm not gonna talk too soon, but I'm tired of playing everybody else's stuff. I want my own."
Right.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's not impossible. It's just a matter of you doing it.
That's true.
But if I publicize that I got what I want and I can give it to somebody else, they won't buy my stuff because they're so brainwashed thinking that bass mods and performance and Yamaha and Ken Smith and Federa. Shout out to all of them. But I'm not paying $6,000 for basses no more. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And that's what they do even with outside of instruments. They do that with
$6,000
Louis
for
Vuitton.
bass?
Louis Vuitton, they do that with all of those name brands. But we come
Can
out
I
with
say
stuff
it,
we
though?
can't even support our own.
Can I say though, with Louis, I stopped buying Louis because Louis, at one point, it was real leather. It became canvas 10 years ago, and the prices were going up and up. I'm like, I'm not paying for a name. I will buy, and there's a black suit distributor. He actually sells his suit through Macy's. His name, the name of the company is Tavion, Tayvion. I have started buying so many of his suits. I said because the really other black person that we had that was really in large quantity distributing was Sean John, and I stopped buying him because this whole thing with Diddy and that's just a mess. But Tavion is selling, and I'm like, I'll invest my money into that company because I want to see this black young man do something big and make a great name for himself. Louis was great back in the day, and I love all the classics that I have. I don't need to buy anything else, Louis. And I don't need to just buy it because somebody on TV as a recording artist said, "Oh, go buy this." I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where
that's what we as black people have to get to.
Yeah. Well, this is what we're scared of. And I'm gonna tell y'all this. This is what black people are scared of.
Say it.
Black people are afraid that if they don't look like something,
we're nothing.
then we're nothing.
That's right.
I found something out. I found it out. I haven't really delved into it, but I need to stop playing. But I found out that the reason why people go and buy all this other stuff is because, again, they are programmed to believe that if you don't have this, you don't have anything.
That's right.
But I will tell you how popular I know I can be. I have enough on me that if I want to go and start my own t-shirt brand, I don't have no problems doing that. I actually asked one person a while ago, I said, if I put this on a t-shirt, what would you think? And they said, yeah, I don't see the rhythm of it. I don't see why it would make sense. I don't see. And the first thing I said was, that's why I'm gonna do it.
I mean, it's a whole lot
Just
of stuff they putting on T-shirts that ain't got no rhythm to it.
that listen, when I tell you it don't make sense, but what I noticed about this, Tanya and I were having this conversation the other day. If you look at the algorithm on TikTok, right? If you look at the algorithm in China, in Japan, in Tokyo, you know, in Beijing and all of that, their algorithm on TikTok are genius children.
Yep.
Women who are providing ways to be better mothers. Men who are creating and basically coming out of the air with new computers and new technology and stuff like that. It's all educational and informational. But the algorithm over here, you got some dumb little girl sitting in a room getting 5 million likes to actually make sounds that people tell her to make on this thing.
Exactly.
Yep.
And she's making thousands of dollars a day
She's like,
to be an idiot. Right?
Yeah, or people
But
going
I
viral nowadays too, with kids that's telling off and cussing their parents out. Like, come on,
in
really?
the bathroom, like you got 30 seconds to say whatever you want to say. Now I'm not gonna lie, some of that stuff some of that
It
stuff
is
is funny
funny
though. It'd be fun. There's that one little girl that got up in there. She said, "All right, you gonna do it?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "Honey, yeah, they must think I'm crazy. I ain't about to sit up here and curse on this phone. I just got these teeth. I don't want to lose them. My mama gonna get me." She said, "I ain't stupid." She said, "You think
That's
I'm
a
gonna get
smart
on here
little
and
girl.
curse?" She turned around and said, "I'm just gonna say it like this. God is good."
Yep.
Her mother came and she said, "You done?"
Girl.
She said, "I'm done, and I don't want to do this no more." And ever since I watched that, but I'm watching these other little girls, and this little girl,
They
it's
don't
funny. I
care.
can't say that. It's funny. She said, "Oh, shit," and she just, and I'm sitting here going, "But you're letting her do it. This girl ain't but 7 or 8 years old."
But they think it's cute and it's gonna get more likes.
Right, and it's not cute.
Yeah, and it's not cute.
And
And
only
the
are you
likes that it's
keeping
gonna get are the likes that you don't want.
Go ahead, Tony. What you say?
and not only are you do you personally think it's like you could have kept it to yourself. You didn't do that. What you did was put it out on the internet. So you expose this child and your parenting, hello. And what you allow her to say
Or
at
lack
7 or 8
thereof.
years old. Or lack thereof. Say that. I was like,
And
No.
so when I put
This
up
ain't that
certain
funny.
videos about encouraging people and keep going, don't strive with it, I got like maybe 57 likes, something like that.
That's sad. That is sad.
Somebody went on there and basically told me, because I had one post that I put up on TikTok a long time ago, and I was saying, listen, you know, we as men, we hurt. We don't always have the answers, blah, blah, yada. And there was a lady that got up there out of nowhere, and she was like, "I don't care. You need to go to therapy or you need to do something, but don't come at us ladies with that. Y'all niggas is blah, blah." I mean, she went off. And I said,
people are bold.
I said,
behind the internet, yes, they are.
Yeah, I said, you're probably upset because you probably didn't do somebody right and they showed you. But it is what it is. But you know, reality. I just got this message. All right, Tracy, we're gonna let you go. Tracy tired.
Tracy, I put in there no. I said, no, don't leave me.
I'm trying to hang on, but I feel myself fading.
Listen, and you ain't gotta prove nothing. We understand.
Listen, when you feel your help, you take your help.
You're not going.
Oh, that's right. Right there.
Tracy, we appreciate you, and we
Love
know
you,
you got to be up
Tracy.
at 4 in the morning. She got to be up at 4. She got to be up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I gotta be up at 4:45.
And it hurts.
So you can stay on longer. All right.
Bye-bye.
You ain't going nowhere.
All right. Now
if I'm on here, you on here.
No.
You ain't going nowhere.
But yeah, I think what was you saying, Tanya? I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I was gonna let
go ahead. No, I wanted to hear what you had to say. What you say? No, you had to say something. I want to be courteous. Go ahead and say it.
Okay, Bobby Jones, I want to be courteous.
I would like to be
No.
courteous and let you
No,
go
I'm
ahead and say
cool.
what you got to say.
No, now that you brought him in here, we can't do it. You know, I don't
Why
like
you
that.
still waiting on the Nashville Supercard
No.
cast?
No.
With Brother Derek Lee and Bad.
Go ahead. What
Brother
you
Derek
gonna
Lee
say
and
about the
Bad.
other part?
With Derek Lee and Band.
They sound so wonderful, don't you agree?
No.
Welcome to
I
Bobby
promise
Jones
you, that's
Gospel.
always that was always what I thought about. They sound so beautiful. Don't you agree? Taste the chocolate.
Right here on Bobby Jones Gospel, we have
Right.
the one and only Tommy Brown.
No.
Brought to you by Dudley Hair Care Products.
with Derek Lee
Dudley's
and
hair care product. Yes.
with Derek Lee and Band.
It's just so
Hey,
low.
hey,
No.
Hey, y'all.
hey, y'all. I remember one time, I gotta say it. I remember one time we was at this church and Bobby Jones, this lady, I don't know who she was. He said, "Did y'all hear how that lady was singing? Ooh, her notes was just as pitchy."
Ooh.
Oh.
And a hush fell over
I
the
said,
And a hush fell over the room.
you ain't even cool with it. Did y'all hear that
He don't
last lady?
care.
Ooh, she was just as pitchy in the microphone.
Lord
And
have
I just
mercy.
sat
Listen,
on the couch. I said,
everybody don't
I-
understand his doctoral degree
yeah,
for music and education related. So he
yeah,
wasn't just
yeah.
saying what he thought.
He's
He knew he was saying what he knew.
yeah, he was, but there was a way to say it, but I guess he said it the best way he could because he just, he said, "Oh, I was glad when she got off of here because I thought maybe something was wrong. I was in the back thinking somebody
He
was
was about to
dying
go.
up here." So wow, you have no
I would have lost it.
Bobby
Derek said,
Jones.
"Somebody go over there and get that mic, baby. He don't need that microphone. Somebody go get that microphone, baby."
It's only funny because it's absolutely true.
Let's talk about this real quick. Tanya and I saw something. Well, I saw something. I sent it to her. I think she saw it before I did, though. This whole thing about being a vegetarian. There was a man who got up there and said that he thought he was living a healthy life being a vegetarian, only to find out that the vegetables were killing him.
Yeah, because they're not natural vegetables.
No,
Nope.
he was eating
Unless they
kale
have
and
seeds in them.
he was eating
And
he was eating
pesticides.
kale and all that stuff. Well, I want to tell y'all, I believe that's what happened to me about 3 years ago.
Babe,
I had what? What's going on?
you wasn't eating healthy.
I wasn't. No. I wasn't eating
Okay.
healthy,
Okay.
but
No, he was
at the same
overeating
time,
certain things.
there was certain things that I was eating, but of course, I was having sodas like crazy, just living like I'm 12. But when I talked to the doctor after I came to, they had to give me morphine and everything. Let me just say this for everybody who's going to watch this later on. If you ever had kidney stones, you know how near death you wanted to be. Because I had 13 enlarged kidney stones. I didn't have one. I had 13. So when I talked to the doctor after I came to, I said, "What caused it?" He said, "Everybody thinks it's just soda." He said, "That's not it." He said, "Do you eat a lot of salad? Do you eat like a lot of?" I said, "I do eat salad quite a bit. I had iceberg lettuce before. I just recently started eating like romaine lettuce, but I said I used to eat that." And he said, whether it's romaine, iceberg, whether it's green spring mix, the whole nine. He said they're selling this stuff, but a lot of times the pesticides and they don't clean them thoroughly in a lot of cases. So the more you eat it, the more it accumulates. After a while, your body can't fight it off no more.
Yep.
So the kidney stones actually come from dirt.
Yep.
And the pesticides and the stuff that's on there when they call themselves cleaning the vegetables. And I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Kale is not something that everybody should eat."
Right.
He said they shouldn't eat it. He said it's hybrid. He said they shouldn't eat it. They just should not eat it. They shouldn't eat it because the kale and the ingredients in kale and what they do to it, that's killing people. So when we think about being a vegetarian, and that man said it was creating a leaky gut, there was all kind of stuff that was being stored up in his body. He said, man, he said, I didn't say eat bad. He said, I eat carefully. Don't eat bad. But if y'all notice, eating clean and eating what's considered to be better is more costly
Yes, it is.
than it's I'm like, when did a
Here's the
bottle of
crazy
water
part,
cost
though.
$2? Are
Here's the
you
crazy part, though.
serious?
Two is
When I
good.
went
Shoot, I get a
to,
Fiji
I was
water
about
for
to say
like
Fiji
$5,
water's
$6.
$4. Yeah. When
Yeah.
I went to Lancaster, PA, though, what I appreciated about them is that, of course, everything is still farm to table fresh. So it does not touch any of the pesticides. And while we were sitting down eating, I said that to everybody. I was like, y'all, this chicken tastes different. And they were like, yeah, it does. I said, because it's fresh. I said, this is one reason why if I ever had the chance to move up here and get a job that paid me well enough, like I want to live, I was like, I would move up here in a heartbeat because everything is farm to table fresh. You don't have to worry about those pesticides hitting it. They're not feeding their animals any of these
Yeah.
anti things that are against food, really. And it's
Hmm.
killing us slowly with all the stuff, all of these different poisons that they're putting in there. First of all, chickens should not be what's so big.
Right.
That's a fact, bro. I'll be looking at them legs. I'll be like, good God.
Pterodactyl legs.
To Scott's point, when I was in Korea, among the things that we found kind of in our general area where our hotel was a
I mean,
mall.
huge.
And in the mall,
Right.
they had a KFC. So of course, being a black man, if there's a KFC, I'm going to get some chicken. Me and Ron Faison, some of you know who I'm talking about. We went in there, and the first thing that we commented on when we got the food was that this chicken looks so different from the chicken that we get in the United States because, again, their standards and all the government and the additives and all that stuff like that, none of that's in there. The chicken pieces look normal. They look like real chicken, like you were just saying.
Can we talk about KFC and how good it is outside of this country?
That's my
especially
point.
Jamaica.
Yeah, Jamaica's cool. And I'm gonna tell you where else. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna hold you. Milan, Italy, their KFC tastes it's not. I look at the emblem on there and going, no, it's another letter.
No, it's
chicken.
It's the recipe
tastes
the fact
so. It's the oils.
real
It's the oil and stuff they
chicken
use.
and the chicken itself is processed under an entirely different system than anything in the U.S. So that's the difference.
Well, they're not stopping me from eating White Castle. I don't care. Forget that dang on eating healthy. Sorry.
This dude went to White Castle on Fremont. He ain't even go to the
3
one over here by
times,
me.
bro.
I'm surprised I'm surprised your abdomen, y'all know your intestines was like,
That's nasty.
for real, for real. Another one.
I had a question for you when you were talking about. Now, are you talking vegetarian or vegan? Because there really are two different things.
So he was talking about.
He
said it was vegan. Yeah, he said it was that. But the lady. These are both doctors. The lady was talking about the vegetarian thing. When he said vegan, he said, but you got to remember, now we're going back to it again. He said the eggs that they're using, right? All that stuff, they're injecting these chickens with stuff. They're eating.
Because it's always the feed. It's also the feed that they're giving. What you're saying?
It's the feed that, that has, what is it called? It's not hormones. It's the hormones. And none of this stuff has antioxidants in it. None of this stuff has, any kind of pristine, natural effects on it. This is all made science-infused bull crap.
Mm-hmm.
When I heard Bill Gates was trying to buy up all the farms, I'm like, hell no. Because that's another way for them to damage the population. All y'all eating from this nasty whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what's going on. So
population of the black people, because they know that the black people are gonna be the ones that eat the chicken, especially
man, real quick, let's talk about this. So the girl, I forgot her name, girl from Black Panther, right? She was in a limousine and somebody bought her this jar, It was a plastic container, like they put the egg foo young, not the egg foo young and all that stuff in there.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she was eating okra soup.
That's gross.
And when she put that spoon up to her mouth, and that long slimy line was still, oh God.
Yeah, okra's not pretty, but
I love okra
it
though.
actually
I ain't
is
gonna
pretty
lie.
good. It's pretty tasty if it's cooked right.
Yeah, I love it. Fried or not.
My
Kevin
mom won't let me do it. My grandmother, God rest her soul, Annie Mildred Stansel, she came home with a bag of okra one day, and you know how it looks in its form first. You know, it's equivalent to a cucumber, almost like a small cucumber. And I was like, Grandma, what you doing all these cucumbers? She said, oh, that ain't cucumber. And I said, okay. So, you know, on Fridays, my grandmother went right to the fish market on Broadway. And she would get fried fish and stuff. So she came back, but she used to eat fish with okra. She went and took them things apart, and that slime just came running out of it. I said, what?
That's good, bro.
I see. Here's the thing. Now let me be clear.
My nana uses okra to do lima beans.
Okay, Tony, go ahead. I can't.
No, my mom does too. And let me tell you, lima beans can be good if you got the right stuff. I gotta have some turkey in there. I gotta have some sweet cornbread. I can take it, but I'm not gonna eat it all the time. It's not my choice of bean. Okay, but I do love fried okra. You can get it any day.
Fried okra is it'll bless your life.
Yeah, sure.
My mind.
It's not slimy, babe. It's not slimy.
My mind
slimy at all.
will not let me do.
It will allow you it will let you do if you just allow.
Okay,
it.
well, let me say this: I choose not to, and
Are we talking okra here?
Yes.
Yes.
Fried okra is it'll bless your life if it's not.
Now I'm gonna tell you what I will eat.
My Lord.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what I will eat. He said, "Give him fried okra." But what I will eat, and I'm gonna tell you who makes a great one, is my mother. But what I will eat is liver.
No,
you can have more.
Eat no liver.
You can have that, bro. I ain't eating nobody liver.
You never have to worry
about
that.
Y'all, hold on. I'm gonna say it with my chest like y'all said it with y'all. I love liver.
And God,
my mother would take that liver and she would put it in those onions and stuff, and she would drain it because she knew I didn't eat onions. She knows I didn't eat peppers like that. She would drain it and she would put it on a bed of rice.
Nope. That's what got you is a bed of rice.
Absolutely, and the meat was great. And she would cut it
like liver.
And she had broccoli with it. I love liver. Liver is phenomenal.
Nobody
give me chitlins. Don't give me no liver.
God bless you.
Let me tell you something. I don't eat liver or chitlins, right? But when I have tasted it without my own doing, it was trying to make me gag. Like I wasn't even here to do it. Like I wasn't even present when I started gagging. I just started gagging. I'm like,
but chitlins are really good if they're done right.
No,
the smell. I'm not a fan of chitlins.
Yeah.
The smell makes me gag.
You can't doctor it up enough. You can't doctor it up enough. I'm going to smell it, and you can't do it.
Years ago, now, Kevin, y'all remember Mother Lions, and of course, you know Ricky Burgess and all of that stuff like that.
We love you, Mother Lions.
So I was literally like a 5 or 6 year old kid. Whatever happened this particular holiday, Christmas or whatever, my mother had to work. So I was at Sister Lion's house for dinner and stuff like that. Now, anybody that knew Mother Lions, she could make a sweet potato pie like nobody's business. My God, today in heaven. I'm telling you.
The Bible with old women. They do it.
But so she gave me my plate, and my mother told me, when somebody give you a plate, you eat what's on your plate. No problem. I was raised in that vernacular. That's what I was. And there was the item was on the plate, and I tasted it, and I said, "Well, this is different. I've never had this before. It was something I never had." And she said, "Just try some of it and see if you like it." And I tasted it, and I just decided, no, I really don't like it. Now I'm a 5-year-old kid. I've never even heard the term chitlins. I had never heard that, and it turned out it was chitlins. So my decision on not liking chitlins I didn't know what a chitlin was. I didn't know where they came from. I knew none of that. All I knew is I tasted this. and I didn't like
You
it.
can't do it. Yeah.
And that was it. So again, I didn't have any pretense.
Did it have hot sauce or did you just eat it straight?
You're smart.
I was 5
Man,
years old. Nobody was
I
giving
don't
me
care
no
if it
hot
had
Right.
panko on it. I ain't never eaten that.
I don't
crap.
like. I
You're a
don't like
smart
the
5-year-old.
smell. And then when I found out how they
You
clean
said
it,
what
I
time?
said,
You're
"Yuck."
a smart 5-year-old.
And again,
Yo,
I mean,
you
Avery,
know
you eat
what?
hot
You know a
dogs, right?
vegetable. You know.
Yeah.
Oh God, here we go.
Hey.
Another vegetable that I could not stomach. I don't like it. I haven't liked it since I was a baby. My mother just stopped trying to feed it to me. I cannot handle spinach. I absolutely hate it.
What?
But
I used to not like spinach. As I grew older,
I
my
Yeah.
love
palate
it.
same
Bro, give
thing.
me
Same
either
thing
garlic
with
spinach
squash.
or
I
cream
couldn't do
spinach.
squash,
Oh
but
my
I can do it
lord.
today.
That cream spinach is from heaven.
That
Man,
cream
you
bless your
spinach
life.
looks like
But sugar
somebody
doesn't
had an
go.
accident that they can't get up.
Get you a good spinach dip that's made with the right blend and mixture of cheeses. It will bless your life.
Listen.
Yes, it will.
Now
But
I am
Kevin
not a
has had
fan of
spinach
chilies and I am not a
since he
fan of
didn't know it.
Applebee's.
Kevin
But
has
you
had
go and
what?
get that spinach dip. Yes, sir.
No,
Well, Kevin has had
Applebee's
what?
got good spinach
Wait a
dip
minute.
too.
Hold on. What did you
Saying
say,
something.
Tanya? What'd you say, Tanya?
Kevin has had spinach. He just didn't know it.
No, I knew it. The
Ooh.
thing
And she
about
mixed
it
it with
is,
she mixed it
yeah,
with
no,
MSG, bro.
it's fine. Yeah, probably.
MSG is sitting right here.
Oh,
It's still
boy.
the same amount.
No, we had. I know she did it, but what I know about it is because the way that she did it, it's in there, but you can't really taste it. Even though it does give a certain flavor to it, you can't taste it. It's not like that. Well,
Like
here's what
with
I'm saying.
farmer
It's
beans
not.
and a bottle
It's
of
not even that.
Chianti.
It's not even that. It was my sister's father would literally. There was one time we went to Pennsylvania. He was trying to buy 2 trucks because he used to have a courier service, and went to this really nice restaurant on the corner of the street, and I wanted steamed carrots. Now I'm getting a vegetable. Just let me have just let me eat my carrots. I'm good. He got corn and he got the biggest bowl of spinach and put it there. I had fried shrimp, French fries. I had corn. I had my carrots and stuff. I was like, I'm good. And he said, "You're gonna eat the spinach first." I literally looked in Edwin's face and I told him, I said, "I'm telling you now, if I eat the spinach, I'm gonna throw up. I'm just telling you." And my Uncle Dan's sitting right there.
I'm warning you. I'm warning you.
I'm telling you. He already knew it was gonna happen. I'm like, so my Uncle Dan was sitting there. He was like,
Disclaimer. I'm telling you right now what's gonna happen.
"Yeah, I'm just letting you know." And I don't even want to do it. Here's the thing: I don't want to put it in my mouth, so I don't want to throw up. I'm just letting you know. I don't like being sick like that. But if you make me eat this is what's gonna happen. And he turned
Even
around and said,
Morton's have good
"Listen,"
spinach.
he said, "Kevin, if you throw up, I'm gonna take you in the bathroom and I'm gonna let you have it." I said, "Well, take your belt off now." I'm literally I'm talking to this man like this at a dinner table. I'm literally telling him. So my Uncle Dan said, "Evan, leave him alone."
Mouth.
There wasn't a smart mouth. That was me telling you, go ahead and
Right,
get
what's
yourself
gonna
together
happen.
to do what
Yeah,
you got to do, because I'm
Because
telling you, I
I'm
don't
gonna go
like it. It's like milk. I hate milk. I don't like it. So you
eating that
can't make
cupcake.
me drink it straight. I can't drink it straight. If I drink it straight, I'm gonna throw up in your face. That's what I'm gonna do.
Me too.
He sat up there.
I'm
He
like
said,
that.
take a forkful. You're gonna eat it. I said, "All right, Edwin, I'm gonna throw up right on this table." I moved my
Moose
plate.
juice has never done nothing bad to me. That's all
I moved my plate.
You said
I moved my plate.
Out of respect.
Yeah, I'm just gonna move my plate. I don't, because I want to come back and eat this. But I'm just telling you, I'm going to throw up. I took that and I took it like spaghetti. I turned that fork in that spinach, and I said, "You want me to eat this?" He said, "Kevin." I said, "Okay." I put it in my mouth. About not even 5 seconds, I threw up all over the table. And I looked at him and I told you I was gonna do it. You can't even be mad at me. My Uncle Dan said, "Kevin, go in the bathroom." Went in the bathroom. I got nothing on me. Everything was on the table. I got nothing on me, but I went in the bathroom. I just stood by the sink like, I don't know what's going to happen. If I get beat, oh well. Uncle Dan said, "Are you all right?" I said, "Yeah." I went back outside. He said, "Now, Edwin, we're going to order more food." He's telling you he don't like it. This is not about disrespect. He's telling you he doesn't like it. Why would you make him eat it? And he told you it's not like he don't want no vegetables. He just don't want that. I was 11 years old. My sister wasn't even born yet. To this day, Edwin will see me and go, "Kevin, are you eating spinach?"
Mm-hmm.
Well, forget the spinach. I don't know how you could eat hot carrots. I can't do that.
Bro, I used to, Avery, I would take carrots out of a bag. I wouldn't peel them. I would just
love a
wash
hot
them off.
carrot.
I would literally turn around and get a paper towel and put salt in it
Wow.
and sit down and
Yes,
take
sir.
the carrot and dip it in salt and I would eat it.
Yes, sir.
That's just
Nothing
how
wrong
I
with
ate it.
carrots.
Yes, sir.
In New York, we would sit on the steps and we would buy lemons and Pop-Tarts.
There's something wrong with y'all.
And the little barrel juices, the little juices that the 25-cent juices they used to have back in the day. And we would
What,
literally go
$1
sit on
now?
the steps. Yeah, stupid. And we would
That's
go and sit on
demonic.
the steps. We would eat cold Pop-Tarts and cut lemons in half and suck the juice out of them and have drink. And the majority of the time, any parent that was within 2 blocks never had to look for their kids. Just like we would be at Terrence's house, because they were all at 1541 Pacific Street. That was my house. We were all on this long. I was in Crooklyn before Crooklyn came out.
That's funny.
Because we had the Stratomatic baseball, we had hot peas and butter, we had Rock'em Sock'em, we had what was the name of the Stratomatic?
Not
We
Rock'em
had
Sock'em.
oh yeah, we had that. We was the kids that was doing front flips and stuff on dirty mattresses in the yards. That
That's
was
nasty.
us. Like we
I never
all
want to
we
touch you
no.
again.
That
That's
was
not
fun.
true.
That
Y'all.
was fun.
Hey Terrence, Avery, Scott.
That's
One day
gross.
I used to hang out on North 6th Street, right off of Temple Avenue. You know, you go up Temple Ave, North 6th. I lived on the left side of North 6th Street, right at the end where Belmont Avenue is. I used to hang out. There's a house over there I used to hang out.
Temple Street, not Avenue.
And
Temple Street.
no, I said Belmont Ave. I'm talking about at the
No, you
bottom.
said Temple Avenue. But you
Oh,
meant Temple
okay.
Street.
Temple Street, Temple. I don't give it. I don't live there.
You don't live there
So-
no more, no matter. Got it.
But at the top, like right at the top of Temple Street, there was a store right on the corner of North 5th. And right next to the store, there was like full of broken glass and whatever. Somebody parked a 18-wheeler cab over there. It was just sitting there. And so I think I told Tanya about this. So some bad behind kids that used to be up and down there. They were all from like North 3rd, North 4th, and Belmont and then in North Main. So they would come up there. And one day I learned about cherry bombs, right? So me and my friend Tommy, Tanya, when you hear this, you're gonna die laughing. What's wrong? You okay?
I just heard cherry bombs and you. Anything connected to you, I just don't.
It's
So-
all right. That's how we lived.
He survived.
Me-
He's here.
we
Tell
listen.
the story.
Me, Juan, and George Hilliard, my best friend Tommy. We went to this guy, Paulie. Paulie was an Italian kid that went to Kennedy High School. Paulie came and told us if we got $10, we can buy 10 cherry bombs. Got the $10. Mama Lorraine Stencil gave me $5. Went up, got the cherry bombs. These bad kids were playing in this cab, right?
Was it
And
y'all?
we said 5 times, y'all need to get out of there because you could get hurt. A lady next door said, y'all come out of there. It's not safe in there. They kept doing it. Then they cursed the lady out. Mind your business, B, blah, blah, blah. All that. The Patterson way. You know how it is. So me and Tommy went to his house on North 6th Street. And Tommy, I saw a big light bulb go over and he was like, yo, let's go up to North 5th Street and put them kids in that cab and put a cherry bomb in there. And I said,
That's the back end.
Oh no!
I said, okay. So
Man, bro, why you
We-
do that?
we went to go. Scott, you be all right. We went up the street, went into the store. We came outside, and there was 9 kids out there. They're throwing bottles at people. So little Mike said, all right, I'm going to get them to go inside the cab. Yo, somebody got to get the door because that door heavy. So Tommy was like the strongest one out of all of us. He jumped up on the cab, and he went to pull the cab down. So he pulled the door down halfway. He got it halfway. When he jumped back out, he was like, Kevin, tell him to go in the cab. So I ran out the temple. I was like, yo, we playing hide and go seek. Let's get in the cab, y'all. They was like, oh, yeah, we coming over there, man. We come, They got in that cab, and I was like, all right, y'all got to go all the way to the end of the joint. They went all the way to the end. Now, the whole time I'm in there, Tommy is sitting there lining up the cherry bombs. So we got to the end, and I was like, everybody turn around, turn your back to me, right? Look at the wall. And then when it's time for y'all to come out, you got to count to 50. And I said, you got to count slow. They was like, 1, 2, 3. I was like, nah, slower. 1, 2. So I'm tiptoeing out the cab. When I got out of there, Juan jumped up. He said, Tommy. And he was Puerto Rican. He said, light it up. He took a match. The match kept going out. Juan said, I got a lighter. He pulls out a lighter. And all 5 of us looking at him going, nigga, what you doing with a lighter? He was like, don't worry about it. They lit all the fuses, Tanya. And one by one, we are just throwing cherry bombs in the cab. Just throwing
So
them in
excited. Look at how excited
Tommy,
you are.
I was so happy. Tommy jumped up and took that rope and slammed that thing down. We went across the street and watched the show. All you heard was pow, pow. It was just, yo, when they came out of there, you saw smoke coming from their eyebrow.
Wait, what, Tanya? Why are you so mad? What's
Because he's so bad. I just wish he wasn't so bad.
There was smoke coming from their eyebrows and their hair.
Bad, Tanya, we were misguided. There's a difference.
Right. We were from
Patterson.
Patterson.
We were bad. We were bad.
Y'all wasn't listening to the guy.
We was from Patterson.
No.
That's where.
Yo, when they opened that cab up and you seen all these kids with smoke and soot and dirt. 1, 2, his nose was bleeding because he kept running into the wall.
And you think that's funny?
I think it's hilarious. When we
When
got out of there, we went back on those sit. We sat in the front of that house and we laughed until it was time to go to school the next day. We laughed so hard. And that's what made Patterson.
Yep.
That's what made it Patterson. It was home time.
It was a unique kind of fun.
It was absolutely.
I think it's time for me to go to bed.
I mean, where else can you go in a lot full of glass and bottles and syringes and crack vials and stuff?
Compton
You have good, clean fun.
Yeah, I'm about to say, you said Compton. That's right. And you jump in a cab that somebody abandoned, and you take cherry bombs and put little kids in there and close the door and let the bombs go off. I mean, where else can you do that?
That's number Patterson.
I would be kicking their tail.
Yeah, Tanya, suffice it to say, there's a line of about 40-year-old, 50-year-olds right now that are in therapy because of that
PTSD.
They're in therapy right now.
They probably like, hey man, don't pop that open. Who got that bubble wrap? Don't pop that bubble wrap. Don't do that.
No,
don't do that. I don't sit well with that.
I get a flashback. Flashback.
Yo, when I wish I could find Tommy right now. I know he would be like, yo, the way them kids was rolling and sliding out that truck. And they was just walking around like, ugh. It was amazing.
But we had
that was fun. That was a blast.
So Terrence, guess who I saw for the first time in 30 years? I saw Rayshawn Pettiford for the first time in 30 years.
Wow.
30 years. And I was telling Tanya, we were trying to tell her that we had a club in Broadway called the Sneakers Club.
Oh,
and we would we literally would go up in the ladies' lounge upstairs and we would hide up there. I told her that me and Rayshawn used to go, and when Deacon Smith was the custodian of the church, and he would come down, we would hide in those trash cans in that little room right there when you first walk into the fellowship area.
Mm-hmm.
And that room right there, he had these 10 cans that he had never used. And me and Rayshawn would literally jump in there, put the lids over, and everybody would be looking for Rayshawn, Kevin, and we just be in that basement hiding. Terrence, what room was it where the furnace was?
The boiler room.
That was the boiler room, right? Yeah. We was hiding out in there. We was hot as hell, but we was hiding out in there too.
Oh, so you didn't put that padlock on the door? You're
I
the
was
reason
that.
that
Yep, me and Ray saw Pettiford. And Leroy Thompson. That's exactly right. Yep, it was us.
We would tell
Leroy Thompson,
Ty
that's
so
right.
many stories, bro. She was like, "Oh,
I was like
it's
this.
time for
I
us
was
to go."
overwhelmed. I was like, what? I was like, and y'all did what? In trash cans? I was like, ugh. And I was like,
Oh,
what?
we was hiding in
She
straight.
said, "It's
We used
time
to
for us
hide
to
under
go."
that blue bus over in the alleyway over there next door to the church. We used to hide under that bus. We would get on that school bus and be hiding from Deacon Smith and all.
We started the night with them at like 11. So it was like to hear the story, I was like, I can't comprehend. Like, I can't believe what I'm hearing. What?
It was not a lie.
Yeah.
Not one thing
We
you
used
heard
to
was a
hide
lie.
on the roof. We used to hide on the roof of the dang church. That was
And
fun.
I'm still trying to figure out how y'all got up there.
I'm gonna tell you how.
Hold on, Avery. What'd you say, Tony?
I said, when I asked about the trash cans, I said, why trash? He's like, I don't know, it was just fun. I'm like, what?
Well, it's not like they were dirty. They weren't used. So I figured, well, let's use them.
I kind of want to know why they weren't used. That's weird too.
No,
They
Terrence,
just hadn't
how
gotten
we
to be used yet.
no, how we got on
Okay.
the ceiling. You know, the school had a stage. Remember that? And the piano,
Right.
where the piano was.
Is that where that opening was at the top of the
At the top.
I know what you
That's how they got up there.
You know who went up there first? Dennis Smith went up there first. Because he was trying to get me and Roy Turner to go up there. I was like, man, I ain't going up there. I'll do a lot of stuff, but I ain't doing that.
It was me, Tony, and Trayshawn Jones.
Shaw was a problem too. He was a problem. That boy was a problem. Yeah. And see, around the time that me and Ray Son was doing our stuff, the babies at the time was Kendall, Devin, all of them were babies, but they was watching us.
Yep.
They was watching us, so it was bad. All right. I think we
good.
Yeah, I think we're good because we lost some people and some people go. Ladies and gentlemen, Brent will not be on here tonight. It's holiday season. The retail industry is
AKA his birthday.
Yeah,
and I was waiting to hear his stories because he said he had to cut some people out.
Yeah, I want to hear.
Yeah, it'll be on there. I'm gonna have another guest on here next week too. Them two together, I don't think any of us really have too much to say, to be honest with you. I think we all just need to let them go ahead and
Yeah, I'm so mad.
Moment.
I was in here trying to wash clothes, and I heard like a bang. I'm like, what's that? I'm like, that's usually the dryer. I was drying clothes. I was not washing. I need to wash it. I'm so mad at myself. It ain't that funny.
Wow.
So mad. This whole time I was like, wait, what? This whole time I have been drying?
That dryer said, aha.
I bet you won't. Be nice and toasty.
Will you taste the soup?
Let's
go ahead and taste the soup. All right, where's the spoon?
Over here, thinking you're gonna be fresh and clean. You just hot. You just hot.
So mad, man.
Why does it smell like yesterday and
like
fabric
softener?
Perfume? Like why is this?
I don't know, but the clothes is hot.
When I heard the bang, I was like, my dryer doesn't make that noise. I was gonna say my washer doesn't make that noise. My dryer does. And I was like, oh, that was the dryer.
Yeah, your clothes ain't clean, but they are pressed.
I'm tired. It's been a day. Okay.
It has been a day. Y'all say a prayer for Tanya. She was, both of us, because we got some decisions we got to make.
We got a lot of decisions to make.
Tanya,
huh?
How did you dry clothes before you washed them?
No, I'm tired.
But the thing is, did you put laundry detergent in the dryer?
No,
I think she did, bro.
No, I didn't. Wait. Hold on.
Come on, girl.
You gotta think about it. She gonna go check. She gonna go check. She gonna go check.
Yeah.
Merciful Jesus.
She gonna look inside and see hot dog.
Okay, no, I didn't.
See Dawn all melted to the dryer.
It's gonna be hot gain. It's gonna be hot gain.
It's all right.
No, I'll probably even broke that thing. No,
She
no,
gonna have
no.
that slob looking mark on her clothes.
I'm tired. I'm stressed out.
Lord of mercy.
Don't be stressed.
I wouldn't
Don't
even
pray
look
and
around
worry.
today because I'm so tired.
That's it.
But
That's what J Ball said.
Well, don't stress and worry.
don't pray and worry.
Oh,
That
that's
was
what he
my
said.
album when
Sorry.
it came out.
Pray, worry,
But all
stress,
right.
don't do two contradictory things together.
Yeah, don't
Right.
do that. Yeah. If you're
Don't
gonna
do
pray, don't worry. If you're gonna worry, don't pray.
Don't pray.
Yeah, well, we going off early again tonight, y'all. You know, guys watch this later, you guys will see it. Next week Brent will be on. Hopefully, it's holiday season, so we hope he can get on there. But we had everybody here tonight. Tracy went to bed early. She got to be up early. We getting up early. I'm getting ready to shut down and have me some more fried chicken.
I'm
I'm
about
gonna
to
have
go
me
to bed.
some more ginger beer.
Yeah.
Ginger what?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
gonna ginger beer.
okay.
We're gonna make it work. So we'll see y'all next week. I appreciate everybody. We had a good time. I'm
Bye,
glad
guys.
everybody's on here having a good time. And we will see y'all next week.
We out.
Bye, guys.
Lord, all right, y'all be good.
All right, y'all. Be
If you ain't gonna be
safe.
good, at least be good at it.
Be good at it.
And
If
be
y'all
safe.
not gonna be good, then I was gonna say something else, but no, because I don't want Tanya thinking she could do that. All right. Have a
Lord.
good night.